Hey, hits on three. 1, 2, 3, hits!
Oh, a beautiful night for football in Orchard Lake. St. Mary's in Game 2 ever of the series between the Highlanders of Rochester Hills Adams against St. Mary's in a repeat of last year's opener in Rochester Hills. We're glad to be with you on Gridiron Game Day. My name is Chad Bush alongside Sam Stick Day. Beautiful night for football, comfortable, the rain has passed, and these two teams are ready to get at it. And what we anticipate to be a little bit tighter of a margin, Stick, than what we saw a year ago in the lashing that the Highlanders gave the Eaglets a season ago. Both teams come in high-powered on the offensive end with defenses that are ready to stand up and be a little bit different. What can we expect differently this year between these two ball clubs?
Well, if you're Orchard Lake St. Mary's, you want to stay in the ball game. The first half last year, they did that, and then the second half just kind of got out of control. And we were talking about this is kind of a budding rivalry. There is a little back and forth between some people on the teams, and that's going to grow through time. But in order for it to be a true rivalry, you got to have wins back and forth, too. It can't be as lopsided. And, the past two nights, thunder, lightning's been going on all around Metro Detroit. We're going to see it tonight on the field.
Two proud programs, St. Mary's with 7 state titles to their credit in their history. Adams with 1, but it was in Tony Petrito's first year back in 2003. He's had them in winning ways. Jermaine Gonzalez in his second year looks to have a much improved program from a team that went last year, got 5 wins after 2 of them in the playoffs. They look to be much improved and loaded, especially on that offensive side.
Yeah, we talked to Jermaine Gonzalez a little bit about that, and they're going to try to spread the field, use the entire field to their advantage with their athletes. And he said coming into year 2, he's a little bit more comfortable. Even like scheduling out practices and what you're going to do during those times. It's all there now. It's played out for you, and he's able to grow upon that, bring in different things. And we'll see if it pays dividends tonight on the field. For Orchard Lake St. Mary's, you hope it does. Rochester Adams, you want almost exactly what happened last year to happen tonight.
No doubt. 2 quarterbacks that will be taking their first varsity snaps. Different stories as to why. Axel Newell, though, a high-prized guy that has come in here and as a junior looks to get something going in the Orchard Lake passing game at the QB spot.
Yeah, not only the quarterbacks going at it for the first time, too. We have a showcase of probably the 2 best tight ends in the state, an up-and-coming with Savory, and then, of course, big number 22. I mean, this guy, what can you say about him? He's pro-ready today.
Brady Prescorn is a beast, a 4-star, committed to Michigan. We saw him Tuesday at practice, and he looked to be the real deal. Meanwhile, St. Mary's will play a guy at tight end, and Jaden Savory, who hasn't played the tight end position since when?
3rd grade is what I'm told.
Hasn't played football.
No, it's sort of like an Antonio Gates story. You get these guys, they're about 6'6". They've been playing basketball their whole life. Next thing you know, they're boxing about people in the end zone grabbing touchdown passes. And that's the path to take. If you're a basketball player and you want to come play football, tight end's probably the position for you.
A couple of exciting tight ends. Savory with an offer already from Arizona State. Hasn't taken a snap since 3rd grade at tight end. And we know about Mr. Prescorn. He's a big-time target. Both quarterbacks taking their first snaps. We'll get deeper into this contest as we roll on from beautiful Orchard Lake, Michigan, the home of the St. Mary's Eaglets. It's the Highlanders and OLSM right after this. Welcome back to Orchard Lake St. Mary's. Time now to sit down with the head coach of Orchard Lake St. Mary's and the athletic director, Jermaine Gonzalez. And, Coach, a new camp. This is year 2. Has it been a little bit more comfortable being able to settle into a season and just kind of focus on this team and this year, not have to worry about all the outside noise of a first-year head coach?
I don't think it's ever comfortable. I think, obviously, when you're dealing with football and kids and you just always want to worried about if you're ready here, if your special teams ready, your defense ready. But I think it is a little easier knowing that you got a year under your belt and you can really just focus on the X's and O's.
It's a different looking team. There's new players, and it's a roster that's sort of shaped up differently than last year. Who are some of the key additions this year that some of the folks should know about?
Some key additions, obviously, is I think we have a new quarterback this year, Axel Newell. He's a rising junior. I think he's a big-time player. He came in, fit right in with the team. Leadership-wise, the team just responded well to him, so I'm expecting him to have a really good year. We have a left tackle, Antonio Johnson, big-time left tackle, physical kid who likes to hit, and he takes ownership on that O-line, which is always a plus for a coach. We also have Darren Jones Jr., plays a little bit of running back and linebacker for us, so physical kid. And Bryson Williams, obviously, I think he'll have a big year for us also too. So just a few kids who are new to the program, and then obviously we had a basketball kid come out and Jaden Savory, expecting big things from him too. So very dynamic, special player. So.
And this is an opportunity for your team to do more things, obviously with more depth this season in year two, and some of those things I can imagine are being having some options on offense that maybe you didn't have last year. What sort of things can we expect to see that sort of opens up the playbook for you offensively?
I think the running game should be there this year a little bit more than last year from a physicality standpoint. We have some dynamic running backs. Trey Gorky, he was here last year. He's a rising junior. Armand, our senior running back, big physical back. With our line that we have this year, I think it'll give us more of a physical running game. And like I said, with Axel Newell at quarterback, I think big arm will be able to make plays down the field in a short game as well too, with our execution. So.
How about the momentum last year? You guys were able to get into the playoffs, win games, and get a taste of the postseason. Despite having a challenge in league play and in this very competitive Catholic League Central Division. How important was that run at the end of the year last year to set you up for what you have this year?
I think it was very important, winning the district, just get the boys getting a taste of some type of success towards the end of the season. Obviously, we knew what we went into last year with the tough schedule that we have. It's not gonna get any easier this year, but that's what we want here at Orchard Lake St. Mary's. We want to play the best. We want to compete with the best, and that's what we're about. So just looking forward to another physical year, physical season, and getting our boys ready. So.
The opponent today, Rochester Adams, the Highlanders, a team that you took on last year in the opener in Rochester. They're also a different-looking team this year. Talk about the matchup against this offense that presents a little bit of a challenge with the style that they play in that veer.
Never easy to stop the veer. Never easy to stop that midline. They run it well. They're going to stick to what they do. They got the players to do it. Well-coached organization. So I'm expecting a battle. So we're going to come ready. I know they're going to be ready. It's going to be a good football game.
All the best tonight and this season long. Jermaine, thanks for taking time, and we'll look forward to catching up after the ballgame.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
There he is, Jermaine Gonzalez, getting his Eaglets ready for kickoff as we build to the top of the hour and kickoff from Orchard Lake and Molesky Field right after this.
Lowering the shoulder. Swing and a miss. McKinley scores!
Chad and Stick back with you. The Eaglets have taken the field in Orchard Lake on Molesky Field. Impact players. Let's start with the Eaglets. Who is going to set the tone up front for them tonight, Stick Day?
Well, there he is right on the screen. Big number 56, Josh Janda. Smart. He's the captain going to Air Force. So expect a big game out of him. And then you flip over number 22, Brady Prescorn. We already talked about it. Mr. Do Everything, committed to Michigan. Already rocking the maize and blue cleats today, too. And there he is. Big guy.
Headed to Michigan, number 7 tight end all time. We're back after this for the start of tonight's ball game.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom.
On the diamond.
In the pool.
On the field.
Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Be great.
Participate.
Hi folks, Dr. Joe here again with Michigan Orthopedic Surgeons. Everywhere you look this time of year, people are running, and that's a great thing because running is an excellent exercise, especially for your cardiovascular and musculoskeletal systems. But the question is, are you running a safe running program? All too often, people are hobbled by things like shin splints and patellar tendonitis. But luckily, simple things like stretching and warm-up, the right running shoes, and realistic weekly mileages can keep you in your running game. For more information, go to miorthosurgeons.com.
Welcome back to Orchard Lake St. Mary's here. Ben Holden, I'll be on the field throughout the broadcast tonight with Chad and Stick. And it's the first game of the season for both these teams, as the guys have touched on. And any time you're starting a football season, or really any sports season, teams have mantras. They have words that they stand by and words that they believe in. And for Jermaine Gonzalez and his coaching staff, now in their second year, they went to their players and said, we want 3, we want 4, we want 5 ideas on something we can do in terms of a mantra and team bonding. Their mantra is R4W, which translates to ready for war. Now the players, the coaches, they all took part a few weeks ago in staying in the dorms right behind us here in the stadium for a week. They also did some combat fun. They did laser tag. Offensive and defensive sides were put together, and they feel that this is the mantra that will carry them to a successful season here in 2023. Guys?
Great stuff, Ben Holden. Thank you very much. Adams has won the toss and will kick off. And back deep for Orchard Lake St. Mary's is Bryson Williams. Keys to victory, Stick Day.
Yeah, Rochester Adams, you know, with them, they have the weapons, they have that new quarterback, and of course, we've been talking about them all pregame. They got the big tight end, and they got to use them. Brady Prescorn, that's the guy they got to use over and over, and we'll see if they do it.
All right, kickoff underway. The kick return from the 10 up to the 20 and tackled across midfield. The kickoff coming by way of Adrian Monter. And so here comes the Orchard Lake St. Mary's offense, and the keys first, Stick.
Yeah, what we were talking about with Jermaine Gonzalez earlier in the week, the air raid offense, they're trying to instill it, switching up from the wing tee that they ran for 30 years and spread the field. They want to use all their athletes in space and get them out there. Savory being a guy that we've highlighted, so watch him on all of these possessions.
All right, we'll watch for that. He's Sam Stick Day, Ben Holden on the field, field analyst. St. Mary's on offense to start under Axel Newell. The junior and first-year signal caller did not play last year, was out with an injury. Eaglets making a late substitution on the line. And
54 did not have his mouthpiece, so he came over to get the mouthpiece. That's Antonio Johnson, 6'5", 300.
How about it? Shotgun for Newell from the right hash, just underway. It's Goike who gets the call right side. Trey Goike, the running back. And St. Mary's will run a hurry-up offense. Kevin Air Raid Rogers, the offensive coordinator for Orchard Lake St. Mary's in his second year. There's a look at Newell. Good size stick, 6'4", 205. They expect a lot out of this first-year signal caller. It's Goike off the left side and stymied near the line of scrimmage. It'll be a loss of 3, and it'll negate what was gained on first down. And tackled in the backfield by Hess. That'll set up a 3rd and long for St. Mary's Stick.
Yeah, big number 75, Magnuson Lars Lott was in there to kind of break that play up and hold contain.
3rd and 11. Newell throwing and into no man's land. Incomplete. Was looking for Bryson Williams. And St. Mary's is 3 and out on their first offensive series of 2023.
Yeah, not exactly how you drew it up if you're Orchard Lake St. Mary's, and I was surprised that they came out with 2 runs. You know, they were talking about establishing their passing game, getting people in space, and then you see on that third down just a miscommunication between the quarterback and the wide receiver, and you could expect that with a new quarterback.
There you see the discussions with Kevin Rogers and Axel Newell. So here's the punter, a first-year punter in Jack Bardis. Bardis will stand inside the 10 at the 8. And the kick is a good one. End over end. It's a fair catch called for and caught. That's Lachlan Tillotson, the guy they call Tilly, and that's where the Adams offense will start. So it's an Adams offense that last year put up 42 points against the Eaglets in Rochester at Adams in the opener, and the win for the Highlanders. But it's a new signal caller this year, and it's the sophomore and Stick. We get a good look at the sophomore Rhino Waters, the big left-hander.
Yeah, 6'2", 200 pounds, throws it lefty, and he throws a nice ball. We were watching him in warm-ups. Nice on the slant pass. Oh, my.
In the backfield, swallowed up and spit out. Josh Janda, the impact player that Stick pointed out in the pregame, gets a tackle for loss on play number 1. And he swallows up Mateo Humbert, the tailback. Here's another look.
Yeah, when you're a strong player, it's a good thing in high school. When you're a smart player, it's a good thing. When you're both, it's a great thing. And that's exactly what Janda is, and he showed it on that play.
A captain, along with 4 other teammates, and a guy that really is a leader. He's got a younger brother, a sophomore, Josh, that we'll hear from later. It's a keeper. Waters left side, has some running room, has a first down and more across midfield to the 49-yard line. So there you see the athletic ability that Tony Petrito spoke of the sophomore, and he gets it with his legs on second down. They're going to say he's out of bounds, Stick, 2 yards shy of the first down.
Either way, that's still a good play for Adams, and as you mentioned, using the quarterback like that, when you do that, your running back just becomes an extra blocker. It gives you some extra numbers on the edge, and they were able to seal it, and he was able to turn the corner and get some good yardage and set up a 3rd and short. And I would assume this is probably 4th down territory anyways, so he gave him 2 chances to get the first down.
Waters won a quarterback competition, Tony Petrito said, in camp and actually at the scrimmage. He knew he was the right guy. Offer and Tillotson were also competing for the job. 2 wide receivers to the left, motion to the right. It's a veer offense, and we've got a pre-snap penalty that looks to be going to the Highlanders. And boy, oh boy, Stick, this is not good timing early with that penalty.
And it's a delay of game, too, and that extra motion before the snap. If they just would have snapped it, but you were trying to see what the defense is giving you, is it going to be a man defense, and it cost them 5 yards.
Looks to be a 5-yard penalty.
Here's the starting lineup for Adams. You see Waters, Humbert, Hepner, Battershell, and Tillotson are the skilled. Brady Prescorn, the All-American candidate at tight end. Kenia Bolash, Barghouti up front. There's an out route that is caught. Nearly intercepted, but it was caught. That's Prescorn with his first catch of the day. It's 2 yards shy of a first down, and Tony Petrito will have a decision to make that's pretty quick here.
Yeah, you figure this is 4 down territory, but Chris Coates, CJ, almost had an interception. But you know, on a 3rd down and long, who are they going to target? 22 all day long.
St. Mary's was all over it. Kamari Patterson combining in coverage. So it'll be 4th down and 3 at midfield. The Highlanders on their own side, and they're going for it. 2 to the right, 2 to the left. Motion, Waters keeps it, has a first down, has more across the 45, down to the 43, and that's the veer option, and that's the problems it presents.
And that was an excellent read by Waters as well. He hands that off, and it goes to the outside back. That's stuffed for a loss right there. You see St. Mary's had that covered. He saw that, pulled it back, and was able to pick up 7 yards.
Patterson with a tackle.
Excellent read for a sophomore.
Sure was. 3 to the right for Adams. Prescorn near side. Motion right to left by Hepner. Handoff up the middle. No, it's not. It's kept by Waters, and he's tackled after a gain of 2. And that's Skylar Bonner, a captain and middle linebacker coming in to create some chaos.
Yeah, we were able to watch him play last year, and he is a hitter in the middle. And St. Mary's has done a good job so far hitting that first player through the hole.
White has moved into the box at linebacker up from safety. One of the school's best athletes. Skylar Bonner, the guy they call Duncan, middle linebacker. And that outside backer is Kamari Patterson, who does great things in coverage as well. Waters looking over the middle, got a man intercepted, picked off. Eaglets coming back the other way, and the interception by Chris Dottori, the junior safety, has the Eaglets with a pigskin at the 40.
Well, you know Rochester Adams is going to be going after Mr. Brady Prescorn, but you could see right there, Dottori just kind of waited, and he was watching. Like, this is literally playing center field. He's just back, comes over, cuts in front of the wide receiver, and next thing you know, it's St. Mary's ball. Huge interception.
Big time. Waters just kind of let it up there, Stick. You knew that the target on third down was going to be the big fella Prescorn.
Well, and you saw him the first time they targeted him, too. That was almost a pick. So St. Mary's is well aware of Prescorn in this game. Rochester Adams may have to start looking somewhere else earlier than they hoped.
Newell in the shotgun, motion right to left. Looking, hitch route, caught, catch is made, and it is Jaden Savory. It's a catch of about 5 yards, so a first look at the young man playing his first snaps of football in a game since the third grade. The basketball player, known for his center abilities, now at tight end.
Yeah, those are the guys that you just look at and you shake your head, right? You know, you wished you were that in high school.
Trey Goyke in the backfield. It's a hitch route, and that is nearly jumped. The throw is wide. The throw is intended
for number 19.
For the Eaglets, number 19, wide receiver, Angelo Chapman, the sophomore.
Gavin Ferris almost had himself a pick six there, too, because there was nobody in front of him if he gets that.
Both quarterbacks flirting with fire early. Third and mid from their own 42. Newell has a pass tipped and picked off. Right side, Drew Hepner into the end zone, touchdown. A bobbled ball a couple of times. Hepner hung on, and he's got the first points of the night in Orchard Lake.
A great concentration by Drew Hepner there, because the ball was tipped by the defensive end, and that's where it started to go a little chaotic for Orchard Lake St. Mary's. Let's watch right here. Who got it? Number 39, Mateo Humbert, actually got that little tip and it threw the pass off, and Johnny on the spot, Drew Hepner right there.
It's an interception touchdown return of 45 yards, and Adams is on the board, leading 6-0. Adrian Monter to try for the extra point attempt out of the hold of Tillotson. Snaps low, kicks up, and the kick is good. So with 7:33 to go in the first quarter, the defense comes down with the first points of the night at Molesky Field. 7-0 Highlanders in Orchard Lake. We're back on Gridiron.
There's just one place where students are students first, and athletics are played with purpose and perspective. That place is your local high school. High school sports offer more than the joy of competition. Studies show that student athletes are also likely to enjoy greater levels of achievement in other areas of their lives, including academics. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education.
Lowering the shoulder. Swing and a miss. McGinley scores!
Adams capitalizes. After a turnover of their own, they come right back and cash in a pick six.
Adams just called a timeout, too, before that kickoff.
It was a 42-yard return officially. And, yeah, I mean, you get a defensive touchdown like that, takes a lot of pressure off of your young quarterback, and it changes the complexion of this ball game, Stick.
Oh, huge. Both quarterbacks we know were young. We know it's their first start coming in, and they've each thrown a pair of interceptions. To cash your interception in as a touchdown and give them that breathing room, that is going to be a major difference in this game. I wonder what that timeout for Adams was, and maybe it was that very conversation like, hey, guys, we just got up on a big swing play. We cannot lose contain on this kickoff.
Fair point. It is the ever-dangerous Bryson Williams back deep, the 6'2 junior return man. And he's back deep along with Reese Hurst. And it will be Hurst from the 10 with some running room. Reason for concern. And he's tripped up by the turf monster at the 40. A rocket return for the youngster Reese Hurst, just a sophomore at 5'9", $140. But he can really run it, and Jermaine Gonzalez loves his potential.
Oh, my. He's going to kick himself for many years over that one, and we got a replay for him, too, unfortunately. There he is. Nobody touching him. Blockers in front. Just tried to switch directions and got his ankles caught. I've never been fast enough to do that, so I don't know what that's like. But, my goodness, he's going to regret that later.
Oh, man. Jack Bartis is in at wide receiver near side. The Eaglets will also send into the game Aiden Donovan, the baseball commit to Michigan State, far side. Trey Goike gets the call up the middle. And a fine tackle by the middle linebacker who caused that interception. Rico Hart. Or excuse me, Mateo Humbert. Axel Newell pass, Jack Bartis broken up. And fine play by Gavin Ferris, who seems to have a beat and read. I know St. Mary's trying to get Axel comfortable in these short intermediate passing routes, but Adams is all over it.
I was going to say, their coach has them well prepared for that out route.
3rd down and 7 from their own 44, trailing 7-0. Axel Newell over the middle. Pass is intercepted again. And this might go. Picked off by Rico Hart. And he is deep into St. Mary's territory at the 15-yard line.
Rico Hart known for being a big hitter and a smart guy, but I don't know what wide receiver was in the area on this play. If you look, there's 3 Rochester Adams guys near it. And
there's an
offensive lineman for Orchard Lake St. Mary's downfield. There's been a lot of confusion so far with the young quarterback. And Orchard Lake St. Mary's is putting themselves kind of behind the 8 ball here in the first quarter.
So Adams at the 20-yard line, looking for more. Already leaders 7-0. And hey, you knew both quarterbacks were new. Both quarterbacks, after running so heavy early, St. Mary's came back and has started to throw. It's just been a tough timing for it. This is Waters on the carry. It's a loss of a ½ yard. Quick convergence up front by the Eaglets. And the lead tackler in there was Josh Janda.
Yeah, well, St. Mary's defense did do a good job on the first drive attacking that, attacking the ball. But Rochester Adams with that veer offense and, of course, the option. It's going to be interesting to see, but don't discredit St. Mary's defense just yet. They actually haven't let up any points.
No, it's been the offense. It has been has put them in a hole. Newell has started the game just 1 of 6. Waters has started just 1 of 2, both with interceptions. Newell with 2 picks, and the rookie Waters with 1. His brother's a baseball player, Bino Waters, at Notre Dame. There's a loose ball, and that's picked up in the backfield, and the Eaglets take it right back. Aiden Donovan.
Aiden Donovan with the recovery.
The Michigan State baseball commit playing his first football in ages. A guy that Jermaine Gonzalez calls Alex Mooney 2.0. 6'3", 220, and runs a 4.5, they say. Playing wide receiver and defensive end, already making his splash on that red turf.
Well, that's what I was saying. St. Mary's was blowing up that option a few times, and they just got there super early that time and caused the fumble.
Eaglets take over at the 25. Goike shot out of a cannon up the middle, has running room, has it to the 50-yard line. 24-yard run for Trey Goike, and here come the Eaglets looking to answer back quickly.
And this is when the offense starts picking up, when they can get some rhythm. You see the defensive line isn't even set, the ball's out.
Ball tipped in the air, and again, Adams getting up and getting tips. And I mean, these are guys that are 5'9", getting the tips.
Yeah, Mateo Humbert is having himself a heck of a first quarter. He is in the backfield causing issues.
Sure is. There's the forced turnover. So the Eaglets now 2nd and 10 from the 50. 4 wide receivers. And that is going to be an offsides.
And that is a great call.
yards.
That is a great call. That is great coaching right there by Jermaine Gonzalez, calling in the hard count on that. You can feel the intensity right now, right? It's turnovers, back and forth. There's a lot of action going on. Players running around. Well, you're sped up. So what do? Slow it down.
That's right. And they did that and are advantageous with 5 extra yards. 2nd and 5. Under 6 minutes from Orchard Lake in the opening quarter. Glad you're with us on Gridiron Game Day. Play action, throw, left flat, caught, on his feet, made a move. That's Zane Wilson, the 6'3", 190-pound senior receiver. And he gets half the yards. It'll be 3rd and 3.
But I like that call. I mean, that is a safe call for your quarterback. You're not putting him at risk for an interception. Let him get comfortable with a couple of those, then go back at him.
Into the ball game is Duke Coates. Watch him. He's in the middle of that cluster. Bryson Williams is wide left. And the Eaglets again will take advantage of the aggressive Adams defensive front.
Yeah, on that one, it looked like Brady Prescorn was just lined up offsides. He was about 1.5 feet over the ball. That's what happens when you're 6'11", though.
Newell lines him up. He will send slot right Zane Wilson, near side Bryson Williams, and Duke Coates in the slot left. 1st and 10 Eaglets from the 38 of Adams. It's Trey Goike again. It's about 5 backs that Jermaine Gonzalez will feature. It's a luxury. So far, he's only featured Goike, and he's had some success early on behind that new and improved offensive line.
Yeah, besides the first series, running the ball has been the best part of their offense so far.
Throw left flat at Zane Wilson, well blocked, inside the 20, down the left sideline to the 9-yard line. There is a flag down, and we'll wait for the call. It is a hold, and it is coming back.
But once again, I like that call by Jermaine Gonzalez and Orchard Lake St. Mary's. Another safe pass, getting the quarterback just a little bit too handsy when down the field.
For Mr. Wilson.
At least the execution was there to give some confidence. But it is nullified with the hold. So it'll be 2nd down and about 12 from the 40-yard line.
I cannot believe we've only played 7 minutes of this ball game. I feel like we're at halftime.
Total opposite of last night. Goike handoff up the middle. Ball's loose on the deck, picked up. And guess who? On the run, Adams looking for their 2nd defensive touchdown, and they've got it. Mateo Humbert cashes in on the 3rd St. Mary's turnover of the quarter, and it's 13-0 Adams on top on the road.
I mean, we normally don't hand out game balls in the first quarter, but number 39, Mateo, he deserves one right now. Humbert is having a heck of a first quarter. We were talking about it even before that return.
50-yard fumble return for a touchdown. It all started with the hit from Rico Hart. Hart forced the fumble, and Humbert picked it up and rumbled in. Here comes the extra point attempt from Adrian Monter to try to make it a clean 2-score lead. Again, snaps low, picked up, in trouble. Tillotson throws it back. And it is caught for a 2-point conversion.
2-point conversion.
How about that improv act on a Friday night? Wow. Credit the toss of Tillotson and the creativity to throw it back. And the conversion is caught for 2 points.
I mean, you work on that in practice all week long. You yell fire when that ball hits the ground. The offense knows what to do, and they made it happen. Nate Hess, big catch.
buried the shoulder.
Swing and a miss. McGinley scores!
Down here on the field, guys, a couple things, and certainly one of the things that Jermaine Gonzalez told me about 30 minutes before the game was he emphasized more than once. He said, we need to be physical tonight. I don't think they've been physical enough so far in this game. They've had a couple of turnovers. They had the fumble return. I think Orchard Lake right now, they need some kind of jump start. They need a big turnover. They need a big hit. They need to get this team energized and get it back on track. And one other thing that I've noticed down here and staying ahead of the play and watching down here on the field, their quarterback, St. Mary's quarterback, Axel Newell, everything he throws is sidearm. So he's throwing that ball from a different angle. And on both those balls that were tipped, that was a big factor why those balls were intercepted. Guys?
Yeah, good points, Ben. We appreciate that report. And no doubt, there's trouble for Orchard Lake that continues. Down inside the 10 is Reese Hurst. He's back to the 5. And momentum all Adams' way, but all these signs point to an early season game, Stick.
It does. 5 turnovers in what, less than 8 minutes of football? Yeah, it definitely does. But, you know, who you feel bad for on all of this, we mentioned it earlier, was the St. Mary's defense, because they've let up 0, but if you're looking at the scoreboard, they've let up 15. So St. Mary's defense has to get back on the field, understand how they can stop Rochester Adams. But, man, their offense has to do them some favors eventually.
That's right. Welch Mateo Humbert with a big hit on kickoff coverage.
Of course.
They'll mark it at the 8. And we've got a new tailback in the game for the Eaglets. It's a gain off the right side of 2.
So number 3, Goki.
Oh, it is Trey Goike still back in there.
Number 4 with the tackle.
I like that. I don't like immediately replacing a young guy as soon as he gets in. As soon as he fumbles. No, number 6, you were right.
It is Leo Wilson. Number 6, Leo Wilson, the ball carrier. He and Goike, similar features.
Wilson with the carry.
2nd down and 9, 3:50 left. It's Leo off the right side and stymied and stopped across the way. And not much running room.
Brought down by number 9
and if you're St. Mary's, you're kind of between a rock and a hard place right now. The run was your best friend early, and then a fumble happened, return for a touchdown. Passing really hasn't been your game. You have 2 interceptions. What do you do, and what can you call?
Yep. Adams leads 15-0. They have 19 yards of offense on 4 plays. Newell looking, curl route, tipped, nearly intercepted again. This time it's off the fingertips of the Eaglets wide receiver, Angelo Chapman, and it's 3-and-out punting time for St. Mary's, who has yet to get on track offensively.
Ball is incomplete. Sets up a 4th and 9.
Almost one of those situations early season where it's the team that's going to screw up the least, and out of the 5 turnovers, 2 have turned, out of the 3 turnovers, 2 have turned into touchdowns the other way for Adams.
Yeah, that's huge. I mean, we can't speak on it high enough. Both offensive have really struggled coming out. Both defensive have looked pretty good.
Yep. Bardis, from his own end zone, booms one. And this is a high kick that's going to be called for a fair catch at the 43.
With the fair catch.
That's a big-time play for Bardis with no return. And Adams will have it in St. Mary's territory at the 42-yard line.
It was about a 42-yard punt because he was punting from the goal line. So field position has been a big thing. You don't want to turn over an easy score to either offense.
Rochester Adams, a team that finished 10-2 a year ago out of the OAA Red Division. Out of Division I, Tony Petrito in his 21st year as a head coach. State champs in his first year in 2003. They lost in 2021 a couple years ago to Belleville.
No shame in that.
No shame in that. In the state championship game, notable alumni Josh Rennell, former Wayne State player. Handoff left side. This is Humbert. He has the corner. He has 10 yards before he's forced out of bounds. Across the way.
Number 5.
So wait, you're telling me not only is this guy blowing up the Orchard Lake St. Mary's offense, causing turnovers, getting touchdowns on defense, you're going to hand him the ball on a sweep and he's going to pick up 9 yards too? I'm going to put him on my team right now.
He's a guy that has gone both ways. There are more two-way players for the Highlanders. Tony Petrito said, look, we got a lot of guys going two ways. And a little bit of a temperature relief tonight, Stick. It's not as hot as it was yesterday. We saw guys going off the field with all kinds of cramps. 2nd and 1. Favorable situation for Adams and their offensive coordinator and head coach Tony Petrito. And it's a false start. So we have seen heavy penalties for Adams. We've seen heavy turnovers for both teams. The only thing we haven't seen is really electric offense yet, and we still have 3 minutes left in the first quarter.
So I got time to warm up. That's what this feels like. Like the first quarter is almost like the preseason. Then we'll get into the real game after this. But St. Mary's better not put themselves too much further behind her. It's going to be a very tough hill to climb coming back.
Yep. Highlanders will split out Tillotson far to the right. With 2:40 left, 2nd and 6. Waters fights forward.
Straight up the middle.
Tackle is made, part of that defense. Jack Bardis in on the tackle. The defensive end, they rotate in quite a bit. Jermaine Gonzalez really felt the defensive line was the strength of that defense.
Number 9, Bardis with the tackle.
Excited about that front with Janda, Dionis, Josh Janda, Jack Bardis.
They give on the outside.
Give outside. It's a first down and more. In fact, it's not a give. It's a keep. And Waters has an explosive run. It's a first down inside the 30 down to the 25.
Yeah, another excellent read by Waters here. You see the defensive end coming up, taking 13, and Waters just decides to keep it, go inside, because that's all he's watching. That defensive end comes to Waters, you give it away, he goes, follows the running back, you run it right where he's supposed to be. It's a tough position for a defensive end to be in.
It is, and this veer option so predicated on timing and technique. Waters keeps it here, has another healthy gain, fights forward up to the 15, has another first down before he's tackled by DJ White. Sorry, Stick.
No, it's fine. You could just tell Rochester Adams starting to feel themselves a little bit, right? They're getting on a little roll here, 10-yard play, big chunk, putting themselves 2nd and 1 again to where you can call anything. I mean, jump ball to your big tight end is probably what I'd go with here, because why not? You got an extra play after this, but we'll see.
Prescorn is split wide left against St. Mary's top corner. And number 15, Duke Coates, they're headed that way. Throw up in the end zone, caught, touchdown, Brady Prescorn.
Number 22.
15-yard touchdown, Prescorn, the Michigan commit in the corner, hauled it in over 2 defenders. And Adams is up by 3 scores in the first quarter.
Glad coach listened. I mean, what would you do? You're that close. You have the biggest guy on the field. He's committed to Michigan, a pro prospect, can jump higher than anybody. St. Mary's does the right thing. They double team him, but the ball's just there too high and the safety's too late.
Supreme athlete. And a great young man, Brady Prescorn, headed to Michigan, but he's a Highlander tonight. And he's got him up 3 scores at Orchard Lake. Extra point is good, and the home crowd is stunned. 22-0. Highlanders, 50 ticks to go in the first.
Every high school sporting event in the state of Michigan has one thing in common: officials. Every game, every meet, every match. Without officials, there'd be no touchdowns, no three-pointers, no face-offs. Without officials, there'd be no games. Officiating is a great way to give back to your community and stay involved with the sports you love. And officials are needed now more than ever, because without officials, it's just practice.
Lowering the shoulder. Swing and a miss. McKinley scores!
Hurst and Williams back to return the kick.
Adams up after the pre-scoring 15-yard touchdown reception from the sophomore Rhino Waters.
Kick goes out of bounds.
Kick out of bounds, 22-0 Adams. They've taken advantage of 3 Eaglet turnovers, and look, their defense has been solid as well. They've stopped St. Mary's, who has had a high-powered offense, a lot of new pieces. It takes time. It takes time, and really it's been one team making less mistakes and one team taking advantage in a big way.
Yeah, and we saw this out of Orchard Lake St. Mary's last year. It took them time to grow into what they were going to become and ended up winning the division in the state. But still, you've had all offseason. You've put in your offense. This isn't the first year of all of the new coaches and all that stuff. They should come out with a little better showing than 22-0 in the first.
42-14, Adams won last year. And
flag on the play.
This is offsides again.
Initial signal offsides against Adams.
This has been really the only thing Tony Petrito could be upset about in this first quarter.
And honestly, they're aggressive penalties, right? They're jumping, they're trying to get across the ball, they're trying to hit the quarterback early. You're okay with those as long as you're up 22-0, you know? But if it was a tight game, I'm sure he'd be a little more stressed.
The Eaglets' offensive line is anchored by big Antonio Johnson. They're going to pull him and run behind him here. He's 6'5", 300 pounds.
Outside gate to number 3.
He's a guy that has multiple high major offers. Penn State amongst them. He's a junior.
He is a big fella, and he can move some bodies that are in front of him. He's had a couple of pancakes already this game.
Goike back in. Newell throws over the middle, caught by Savory at the 45 on his feet. It's a first down. Second catch of the night for Jaden Savory, the first-year football player. And he moves the chains for Orchard Lake.
And you like that play, a little fake back screen like they have been running, but then they throw that crossing route that Rochester has been jumping.
Second first down of the night for the Eaglets. Adams only has 3 first downs. And that ends the first quarter. Adams up by 3 scores at the end of the first frame.
22. Eagles.
Lowering the shoulder. Swing and a miss. McGinley scores.
Audio not working that point in time for Ben. We'll get back to Ben in just a moment. So, a lot to talk about in this first quarter. We've talked about the turnovers. How does St. Mary's come back? Let's go back to Ben real quick. We've got Ben Holden standing by. Benny boy.
Yeah, I'm my own audio guy, so my apologies on that one. So let's get back on track here. All Adams you guys are talking about. I love Stick's call. I said the same thing watching that touchdown pass to him. This kid is a special player, and you guys touched on that a little bit too. And in talking to his head coach before the game, he said none of this, none of the recruiting, Michigan, Michigan State, Penn State, Notre Dame, they all want this kid. He is a bona fide NFL prospect. Nothing has changed him. He stayed the same young man. That's pretty special for a guy that also plays both ways here on this Rochester Adams team. He is certainly a throwback in every sense, guys. It's been a lot of fun to watch here so far.
Yeah, Brady Prescorn, Ben, a big-time talent and a humble young man at that. Impressive all around. There's a throw right side. It's caught.
Outside to number 7.
That's Aiden Donovan with his first catch as a St. Mary's Eaglet at the varsity level. He's got the 3rd first down of the night for the Eaglets. And we're starting to see their big targets that are new really emerge.
Well, and that's what you were going to ask me before we went to Ben, is what can St. Mary's do? It's those simple plays right there. Start getting confidence, small chunks at a time. You saw it with Rochester Adams. Their offense was struggling. Then they had a 10-yard play, a 9-yard play. And next thing you know, they're right there sitting on the end zone. Touchdown.
This is C.J. Coates, who's checked in at running back, 5'9", 165-pound junior, a guy they like a lot. He also plays on the defensive end of things as the cornerback. Second and 7 for the Eaglets from the right hash, down 3 scores, trying to make some noise early in the second. Newell on the run, dangerous pass, and traffic is caught. And he goes to the wide receiver right side, and that's Bryce Jadzik, the 5'8 junior wide receiver, sure-handed outside slot.
Now, Rochester Adams is leaving Bryson Williams at the top of the screen alone with 0 safety help. I wonder if St. Mary's is going to exploit that.
3rd down and 2 from the 24. Eaglets looking for their first points of the night. And really what feels, even though it's early, like a must-score drive.
100%.
Even if it's a field goal, you want to see points if you're an Eaglet, but need some confidence. And that is a fine play from the backside. Rico Hart, the defensive captain, coming in to make a play. Missed all of last year's stick with an injury. He's come back after getting injured last year in game 1.
And you got to admire the flex after the play, too. Look, it gets the ankles, gets up, and flexes to the bench.
4th and 2, St. Mary's going for it. Newell looking right, got a man caught, and it's good enough for a first down. Fine catch by Janda, the tight end. Coming up and making the catch, that's Jack Janda, the sophomore, with several high major offers. Move the chains, big-time conversion.
Yeah, a nice play, too. A lot of action going on. The fake pass, you get it to your big tight end. You only needed 2 yards, so let him fall forward and pick it up. I'm still waiting for that throw up top to Bryson Williams. He's just sitting up there.
Yep, he's got single coverage up top with Tillotson. We'll see if they go there here. Newell looking right, looking end zone, got a man caught, touchdown Eaglets. Into the end zone, Zane Wilson, the senior receiver. And the Eaglets answer right back with a 21-yard strike, the first of the career for Axel Newell to Zane Wilson.
And my apologies to Zane Wilson. I was talking about Williams on the other side. Should have been talking about Wilson on this side. What a beautiful over-the-shoulder catch and a great throw right to the pylon like you draw it up. And that is a tough track with the defender right on you. Massive touchdown for Orchard Lake St. Mary's. You feel like you're back in the game right now.
St. Mary's answers right back to get a score. Here comes the extra point attempt. And that is blocked. This is a first-year kicker that's come over, Sam Carrick. He's an all-Catholic soccer player, and timing off on that. Eaglets on the board, 9:10 to go until halftime.
Lowering the shoulder. Swing and a miss. McGinley scores!
And it's going to be a challenge for us. I mean, they're a really talented football team. I think everybody knows that.
4 wide receivers. Pressure, steps up. Marshall wants to run again. Cuts down the middle of the field. All alone. Touchdown! Warriors! What a cut.
Well, the Eaglets on the board, and the Eaglets Division II this year. They've opted up. Last year's record, 5-6, 3-6 in the regular season. They won a couple playoff games, got that district title. 526 co-divisional boys and girls in St. Mary's. And Jermaine Gonzalez in his second year, former All-American here in high school. Allen Robinson, of course, an alum you should know, 2011 grad, Big Ten at Penn State, currently with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Pro Bowler in 2015. Jay Penske, an alum you should know.
One of my favorites. I love that guy.
Graduated in '97, CEO of Penske Media Company, Rolling Stone Magazine, and others.
Son of Roger Penske.
Oh, that too.
Yeah, a little bit. Jay was, I went to school, I graduated 2 years after him. He was one of those upperclassmen that was just awesome, even when you were a freshman. He was a fun guy to be around. Hell of a lacrosse player.
Great lacrosse player. The best in St. Mary's history.
Went on to Penn. Yeah.
All-American, did go on to Penn. Did wonderful things and also doing great things in the business world as well. So, Eaglets on the board. We felt like it was a much-needed scoring drive. They got it. And now the defense has an opportunity to make a stand as well. And they've been okay all night anyway.
Well, just as important as it was for Orchard Lake St. Mary's to score on that last drive, it's as important as the defense is to get a stop on this drive. because if the defense just lets up a touchdown, it's almost all for naught, and you're right back to where you were. The defense needs to get a stop here on Rochester Adams, and we'll see if they can do it.
The drive was 3 minutes and 40 seconds, 9 plays, 65 yards into the end zone. Zane Wilson from 21 yards out. Some scores to get to quickly. UAD Jesuit with a 9-0 lead over Oak Park. River Rouge trailing Belleville 13-6 in a tight one in the second quarter. Northville 7, Clarkston 3. Clarkston will have Southfield A&T next week. Goodrich 14, Frankenmuth 8. That's at the end of the first. And Wall Lake Northern with a trailing 13-21. That's a final. South Lyon wins that ball game over Northern. And Harper Woods with a 34-21 win over Stony Creek. That's a final. Thank you, Jake Yono. Appreciate that. 8:24, clock rolling, 3rd and 6. And an opportunity for the Highlanders to try to cash in a 3rd and mid. Opportunity for the Eaglets to try to get a big stop.
Yeah, Skylar Bonner with a great hit on that last play to set up this 3rd and long. And this is a big spot for St. Mary's to get off the field. Rochester Adams is going to be interesting to see what they call. They got the spread on.
4 wide for Waters, in trouble, pressure. And down he goes. Waters down at the 21. Heat from the backside. Jack Bartis brought him down. And that's a big stop on 3rd down. Eaglets have had pressure all night, Stick.
Yeah, and we talked about that early in the first quarter. The defense hasn't really played poorly. They've let up a touchdown. The rest has been on the offense. And here they are with a huge 3rd down. Look at Bartis just pushing the line of scrimmage, splits 2 defenders, and is able to get in there. Help from his friends, too. Big number 56, Jonda on it, too.
He started it, Bartis finished it, and the Highlanders are punting with 7:20 and rolling from their own 22. Prescorn is the punter, and he will punt it high and deep. Fair catch called at the 44 by Bryson Williams, and that's where the Eaglets will take over with 7:12 to go until halftime. And the Eaglets are trailing 22-6. They had the double-edged sword. Missed an extra point and gave up a 2-point conversion on that wonky, wild improv.
Yeah, well, you know, we talked about it. Those wonky, wild improvs are coached. I mean, you remember doing those on the special teams.
Yes, they are.
Because it happens, and your snap holder and the kicker need to know what to do when that ball gets in their hands. And that was executed to perfection. So I don't discredit Adams for that 2 points at all.
No doubt. St. Mary's 12 rushes for 36 yards. They'll keep it on the ground here. Breaking loose, spinning forward is Duke Coates at a $155 soaking wet after swallowing down a kibasa. And he dragged the defender in an 8-yard gain. A nice burst by the young man.
The yak is what matters on that. Contact right there. What does he get? 8, 9, 10 yards after.
Quick hit outside to number 16.
Quick hit right side. Jadzik has it, breaks a tackle, fights forward, has an Eaglets first down. They move the chains. They're 7th of the night compared to just 3 for Adams.
And more yak. That's what we were talking about. It seems to be a theme. Catches it, gets hit at the 48. Another 10 yards down the field before he gets touched again.
Good blocking downfield as well from Janda and others. Handoff up the middle. Goike's in, and Goike is down. Who else? Humbert all over it. Rico Hart all over it. He is thirsty after sitting out a year playing the game he loves.
And you love that from Rochester Adams. A couple big plays are like, all right, enough. You know, we're going to come in with our big hitters and stop this right now.
Coates is in, slot right. Janda's in. Newell wants to throw it. Sidearm pass is nearly picked. If one thing, I mean, the telegraphing of the passes appears to be in order at this point in time.
Well,
Newell living on the edge.
Yeah, I think Ben brought it up earlier, too. It's that sidearm slot that you're throwing in. Like, you won't see many pro quarterbacks or college quarterbacks throwing from that arm slot.
Matthew Stafford, maybe the only one.
On improv plays, right?
Right, that's true. Very true. In trouble and in the backfield and thrown down. Sacked by number 75, Magnuson. Lars Lott And it's punting time for the Eaglets. Adams snapped up real quick and shut that series down.
First of all, what a great name. Magnuson Lars Lott. Like, that guy sounds like a football player. But no, I mean, Rochester had them puff their chest on that drive, and they said, all right, we're putting our foot down. Enough of this momentum, which you could surely feel. Now it's going to feel like it's leveled out just a little bit before half.
For the return.
22-6. Adams on top. Mike Sullivan of Make the Turn will join us at halftime.
Oh, Sully.
Yes. And we're excited to be partnered with his company. If your company wants to make the turn to the next level, make sure you contact Make the Turn, an award-winning digital marketing firm based right here in Metro Detroit, founded by Mike Sullivan and Kyle Bogey in 2019. They've quickly grown to a full team of professionals who create custom marketing solutions to help grow your business. Maybe you have a great marketing department and you just want to get 10% better. Or maybe you're a business owner who wants a marketing director without the full-time salary. It's worth visiting MakeTheTurn.com and checking out all their great examples and reviews. They can help you with content creation, digital advertising, or even just optimizing your social media and web presence. Visit MakeTheTurn.com to schedule a free consultation and see how they can help make your company make the turn to the next level. The St. Mary's defense is turning up the heat as well. Tackle for loss of just a yard, but with under 5 minutes to go, the Eaglets with a chance to maybe get a stop and get some field position.
Yeah, if they can stop, get the ball back, and a score before halftime, you're feeling real good going into the locker room.
Stop by Bonner, the senior captain at 6', 210 in the middle. Jermaine Gonzalez raves about Bonner and his abilities. Running right side, in trouble, horse collar and down.
Flag on the play.
That was a fine play, but it's going to get penalized. The young man making that hit was Giannis Didaj.
Horse collar tackle.
And that's a tough break. Adams will get a first down out of this.
And what's tough about this isn't a horse collar by definition, right? Horse collar was supposed to be you're behind them, you grab them by the back, and you pull them down. This was kind of a throw down, but still, once you get inside those shoulder pads, they're going to call it every single time. And Rochester Adams, I'm really curious to see how they're going to play out the rest of this half, because what they also can't afford is a big turnover for a touchdown. So do you get conservative, just trying to run the clock, or do you go for it?
We shall see here. Handoff up the middle, and that is stymied.
Yeah, it looks like they're pretty comfortable right now running out the clock. The first two plays were that play right up the middle. And they went from their spread offense to kind of crunching everybody down and kind of running just a power O right now. But if I'm Rochester Adams, that's one thing you don't want to do is give St. Mary's any free momentum going into halftime, because they're down right now.
This game feels a little bit like last year's game, 42-14, but it was tight at half. There's a loose ball, and it's gathered and dropped. It was a bobbled snap gathered by Drew Hepner. Fine job to concentrate. But it's a tackle for a loss with 3:30 left, Stick, until the break.
Yeah, that's a huge tackle for a loss, but I'm sure Rochester Adams would rather have that than a fumble right there, too, because you see this bounces straight off the face mask of Rhino Waters.
3 to 4 yard loss.
So now you're looking at 3rd and 14 thanks to Jack Bardis.
Bardis has been big tonight, not just punting the football, but playing that defensive end spot. He also plays receiver. Count his snaps on offense. 3rd and 14, 3 minutes left. Big play in the ball game. Back to pass, Waters in trouble. Pressure from behind, and he's sacked again. Aiden Donovan with his second disco dance of the night. And with 2:50 left, the Highlanders are going to have to punt from the shadows of their end zone.
And that's the interesting thing about the psychology of that drive for Rochester Adams, right? You kind of shut it down, you pull it back, because you don't want to give St. Mary's momentum. But what do? You give St. Mary's momentum because they're able to make these types of plays. That's what I love about football right there, because you want to continue to doing what got you to where it did. Spread the offense, get down the field, but you also are afraid to sometimes.
Jermaine Gonzalez repeatedly said this is the strength of our defense and maybe our team, that D-line. And boy, have they ever come up big in this half. That's Josh Janda getting in on that sack. Ball's loose in the end zone. Who's got it? And it is going to be a safety. So St. Mary's will get 2 points here. An errant snap, Aiden Donovan all over it again. And the Eaglets have cut the deficit to 22-8. And that 2 points is huge. Means a lot, and you get the football.
Yeah, and that's another, we'll go back to the psychology of the game and what you love. You know, you would have loved to fall on that and get the touchdown, but the 2 points and the ball back could result in more points for you. We saw that last year with Cass Tech and Southfield A&T. They benefited from a safety rather than, and so this has been a great game so far. I mean, like I said in the first quarter, I felt like we already played a half. This game is full of it.
There's a look at the right-handed pitcher, Aiden Donovan, headed to Michigan State to play baseball, but Jermaine Gonzalez says, look, this guy is Mooney 2.0, referring to Ryan Mooney, who's a wide receiver at Harvard that played baseball his whole life, came out for football his senior year, and got a scholarship offer. Donovan throws a 92-mile-an-hour fastball and is committed to Michigan State, but this is a guy they feel that is an elite talent at 6'2", 210 and runs a 4.5 40 legit.
And it's good to see that coming back into sports. You know, there was an era of sports where parents were afraid to let their kids play different things, and now you're seeing those specialty athletes are getting fewer and further between because of guys like Patrick Mahomes, right? Baseball player, but also one of the best quarterbacks. You got to be able to play other sports. It makes you a better football player if you're a good basketball player. It makes you a better basketball player if you're a good football player. So I love to see parents letting their kids play multiple sports again.
Well said. I do too. I think it's quite a cool thing to see a throwback. Adrian Monter booms it. It'll be taken at the 25-yard line. Taken up the right side, and this is corralled. Reese Hurst, the return man. He's up to the 48-yard line. That's solid yardage. St. Mary's will have a chance with just under 2 minutes to go to try to make this a clean one-score deficit.
Yeah, and we got to also make sure we recognize Mateo Humbert again, making tackles on kickoff. I think we've called him in every aspect of this game so far.
Sure have. Got to look at Jermaine Gonzalez, 2000 grad of St. Mary's, a guy who is proud to get back into this program in his second year. Throw downfield, caught at the 38-yard line. It's a first down.
To number 12, Mr. Wilson.
That's Zane Wilson who caught the touchdown pass. Eaglets on the move in a fastball-type cadence in hurry up.
Yeah, and that was the first time we saw them move the pocket and roll the quarterback out, too, and bought him some time.
A lot of athleticism for Newell, who wants to go deep, throwing right, and he intercepted, and he's picked off. Gavin Ferris with an interception, stepped in front of Jadzik, and the Eaglets turn it over for the fourth time tonight in Adams territory.
You ever played Madden?
Yeah, not very well.
Okay. Well, this is what happened. He held down the pass button instead of tapping it. When you held down the pass button, you launch it right at him, and that ball had a low trajectory, easy to intercept. He floats that wide receiver down the sideline, touchdown. The play call was right. It was right. The throw was what was off.
Yeah, needed a little more float, not as much mustard.
Yep. Held down the button a little too long.
So we'll see how Tony Petrino plays it with a $1:37 to go from his own 16 and a sophomore quarterback, Waters, under center. Now in the shotgun, going to keep it himself. Left side, has some room, bounces outside at the 20 and has a solid carry of about 6.
With the tackle.
I was wondering if St. Mary's was going to use their timeouts to try to maybe squeeze one more possession out of this first half, but it doesn't look like it after a big play on first down.
It doesn't look like Adams is in a hurry either. A lot will depend maybe on this play. Watch Prieskorn, slot left, wide left now. It's going to be Waters. He'll call his own number. He'll have the first down, and he'll get hit out of bounds. Williams will knock him out of bounds. 58 ticks left. That is a first down. That might change some things for Adams and Tony Petrino.
Yeah, if I'm Adams, I'm not risking too much right now. You kind of dodged a bullet with letting up the safety and then getting a big interception. I would ride that going into halftime. Like, guys, we got 4 turnovers in the first half. We're okay. Let's ride this out.
St. Mary's defense is coordinated by a couple of alums, Jeff Phillips along with Greg Dixon. And the defense has been sound in this first half. There's a handoff in the backfield.
Inside get to number 7.
Escaped.
Brought down by Janda.
And the run by Jack Durand on the run.
Jeff Phillips was a great player in high school as well. I remember against, I believe it was against Country Day, he tracked down Javen Hunter. And if you ever knew Javen Hunter, he was very fast. And Javen Hunter happens to be the father of Jaden Ivey for the Pistons, which is crazy.
And the son of James Hound Dog Hunter. Season for fans. But yeah, how about that? Jeff Phillips, a great athlete. Went to Duke. Pre-scoring.
Mixing it up a little right now.
A little bit. And Adams seems satisfied with 10 seconds left. We'll try to talk to Jermaine Gonzalez at the end of this half as time winds down, and it's 22-8 as your halftime score from Molesky Field in Orchard Lake. Don't forget, Mike Sullivan of Make the Turn is coming up in just a bit. But first, Ben Holden will talk with head coach Jermaine Gonzalez. 22-8 in a game that's first half saw 6 turnovers. Stick, your thoughts on the first 24 minutes?
Well, you could tell it's the first game of the season, sloppy on both sides of the ball, but that second quarter, everything kind of settled in and it became a much better ball game. I think both teams have something they can point to fix, and both teams have something they can point to where they can continue to do.
All right, let's go down to the sidelines. Ben Holden is with Jermaine Gonzalez.
Yeah, indeed. Jermaine, let's get your thoughts, your assessment first of that first half as a whole.
Guys got to settle down. We got to just play football. Too many mental mistakes. We got to clean up some stuff. We got to play a better second half. There's a lot of football left, so we just got to put some drives together.
One of the things you mentioned to me more than once when we chatted pregame was physicality from your team. Are you seeing that enough on both sides?
Yeah, defense is playing very physical. Offense, we got to get back to our physical running game and just try to make a difference in this game. We run the ball, we got a good shot.
Lastly, what do you feel are the biggest adjustment you need to make to come out in the third?
Keep playing physical and play our game.
Thanks.
Play's going to happen. We're going to be all right.
Thanks for this. We'll let you get in with your team.
Yep, thank you.
All right, guys, Jermaine Gonzalez, his team down here at home, and they're going to go in and regroup and get ready for the third quarter. More to come here on the prep from Orchard Lake between Rochester Adams and the Eaglets of Orchard Lake St. Mary's.
All right, thank you, Ben Holden. At the break, 22-8. Adams over OLSM. We'll take a timeout. Mike Sullivan to Make the Turn coming up. We'll also have highlights and stats and scores around the league. Gridiron Game Day. Thanks for watching.
Hi folks, Dr. Joe here again with Michigan Orthopedic Surgeons. Did you know that kids are not little adults when it comes to sports injuries? That's because of something called the growth plate. Growth plates exist all over the human body in our growing athletes. They're actually little cartilage discs that exist at the end of all the long bones. It's simply where a kid grows. The problem is that the growth plate can be the weak link. What might be a sprain, a strain, or a tear in an adult when they hurt themselves can actually be a growth plate fracture in a kid. So it's important, if your kid has hurt themselves and they're not using their arm or they're not able to put weight on a leg, come see one of us, get an x-ray, and make sure it's not a growth plate fracture. For more information, go to miorthosurgeons.com.
From an ordinary idea comes a great journey. It all starts with a simple thought, a vision of something bigger, greater than what already exists. It's that spark that ignites the passion and drive to create something truly amazing. At G-Brand, we understand this journey well. We take pride in the details and perfecting every aspect of the process, regardless of how small or big they may be. Because it's more than just a design or a shirt. It's about outfitting future champions. There's something to be said about a team coming together, each member contributing their unique skills, talents, and ideas. It's that collective effort that takes a simple idea and turns it into something truly great. The process can be excruciating, with countless hours spent tirelessly reviewing every detail. But the end result is pure and so rewarding, knowing that we've created something that will inspire greatness in those who wear it. Whether they come from a savage land or a booming metropolis, whether their numbers are 2 or 2 billion, the greatest their numbers could ever become is truly to become one. That's why at G-Brand, we're more than just a clothing company. We're a movement, a community of like-minded individuals who believe in the power of coming together to make a difference. So join us on this journey as we strive to outfit future champions and inspire greatness in all that we do. G-Brand. Now that's game.
We are the MHSAA, a collection of 750 high schools and 750 middle schools, from Temperance to Copper Harbor, from New Buffalo to Alpena. Each year, more than 250,000 students play one of our 28 sports. More than 1.5 million fans attend our postseason games. There are 30,000 coaches and 8,000 officials, not to mention all of the volunteers. The MHSAA believes in the 4 S's. School sports should be safe and kept in the appropriate scope. We believe nothing beats great sportsmanship, and that scholarship in the classroom is more important than excellence on the field or court. Most of all, we believe school sports should be fun. So come out and join us at a game. Support your school, support your community, and come see what the excitement is all about.
Lowering the shoulder.
Swing and a miss. McGinley scores!
And it's going to be a challenge for us. I mean, they're a really talented football team. I think everybody knows that.
4 wide receivers. Pressure. Steps up. Marshall wants to run again. Cuts down the middle of the field. All alone. Touchdown! Warriors! What a cut.
Every high school sporting event in the state of Michigan has one thing in common: officials. Every game, every meet, every match. Without officials, there'd be no touchdowns, no three-pointers, no face-offs. Without officials, there'd be no games. Officiating is a great way to give back to your community and stay involved with the sports you love. And officials are needed now more than ever, because without officials, it's just practice.
Does your bank make you feel like you belong there? At Alliance Catholic Credit Union, you are a member of a financial institution that serves the Catholic community, providing you with an opportunity to align your banking with your Catholic identity. You receive all the products and services you need to manage your money, and your membership helps support Catholic schools, parishes, and organizations. It's time to put your money where your faith is. Visit AllianceCatholic.com to get started today. Service, community, Catholic. Alliance Catholic Credit Union. Federally insured by the NCUA.
Lowering the shoulder.
Swing and a miss. McGinley scores!
We are back at Orchard Lake St. Mary's. Rochester Adams 22, Orchard Lake St. Mary's 8. And here's a look at how we got there. Rochester Adams starting out on offense, running the ball really well. St. Mary's defense, though, steps up big right here with a massive interception, taking the ball away from Rochester Adams. Student section going crazy, but then Rochester Adams gets back on the scoreboard. Number 13. Drew Hapner with the return for the touchdown, putting Rochester Adams up 7-0 at that point. And then St. Mary's, another tip ball interception, going almost all the way to the house, but still a big turnover. And then Rochester Adams hands it right back to Orchard Lake St. Mary's. A very sloppy first quarter, but St. Mary's was able to get a few things going on the ground. You see a big run right there, and then another one, a fumble right here. And there he is, Johnny on the spot, number 39, having a huge game for Rochester Adams. His name is Mateo Humbert. He has been on everything: offense, defense, special teams, making big plays. And then right there, a nice big touchdown pass to their big tight end that is pretty much going to Michigan, I believe. Is that where he's committed? But he had offers everywhere. St. Mary's does get on the board before the end of the first half with a nice touchdown pass by Axel Newell to Zane Wilson. Rochester Adams on a bad snap on the punt, so it's a safety for Orchard Lake St. Mary's, putting us where we are right now. St. Mary's had a chance to put on some more points on the board before half, but we see yet another interception by Rochester Adams. St. Mary's with 4 turnovers on the day, Rochester Adams with 2. We will be back with Mike Sullivan from Make the Turn Media right here on The Prep Friday nights.
As the voice of Michigan's student athletes, the Student Advisory Council's role
is to convey the message of how high school sports should be played.
We are responsible for helping the MHSAA maintain a positive and healthy atmosphere
in which interscholastic athletes can thrive.
We believe that athletes should be competitive,
sportsmanlike, and excel academically.
We believe that students in the stands should have fun,
but not take away the focus from the game.
We believe coaches should act like teachers,
helping student athletes develop while still keeping high school sports in perspective.
We believe that parents should always be positive role models
and support their child's decisions.
We believe officials commit their own time to high school sports,
and respect should always be shown and given to them.
The most important goal for student athletes is to enjoy high school sports
while keeping a high level of respect between all those involved in the games.
Enjoy the game.
Lowering the shoulder.
Swing and a miss. McGinley scores!
(22-8). Adams on top of Orchard Lake St. Mary's. We're at halftime. We're with a very special guest and our newest partners at Make the Turn. The CEO and the founder, Mike Sullivan, joins us. Sully, thanks for hanging out, man.
Chad, great to see you. Love what you guys are doing. Seriously, just someone who grew up here playing, Catholic League and just high school football in general. Love to see the support. So it's really awesome what you guys are doing. Happy to partner with you.
Mike, a Waterford Our Lady of the Lakes grad, a proud Catholic leaguer.
Absolutely.
Mike, let's hear about Make the Turn and such a presence that you guys have made since 2019. Really immersed yourselves in so many markets and offer so many services. Tell us about Make the Turn.
Yeah, thanks, Chad. Obviously, we, a lot of people know we used to work at 97.1, had a great experience there, but since 2019, really just been trying to help companies get better digitally. Is the best way to put it. A lot of companies what we found is have a great marketing department, but inevitably need an extra hand, an extra service, an extra support. So that's what our team of 8 tries to do. How can we help with digital, with content creation, with advertising, and just provide that extra hand to marketing?
It's really that time where if you're not there, you're behind. And how often is it that you're helping folks that are trying to catch up, trying to get better, but you also have opportunities, I'm assuming, where people just want to get a little better even though they're already good?
Honestly, Chad, that's probably the biggest thing, where a lot of companies will call us and maybe they're trying to get 10% better in marketing, right? And other companies call us where they need a whole marketing arm to help them with. So it's more so, we try to do everything custom, nothing cookie cutter. How can we come help? How can we listen to your needs and lend a hand?
I know you also have a passion for golf, and you've had your hand in the digital and the golf. What's maybe one of the coolest, fun things you've had on a project lately that involves both of your passions?
Man, there's been I've been very fortunate to whether it's go to the Masters or go to the Players or, just play some of the greatest courses you can. But I would say one of the coolest things that we've done is American Dunes. When that opened out on the west side of the state, Jack Nicklaus designed course. He was there. Grand opening. We got invited to that. He opened the course. Got to meet him. Honorary tee shot. All that. Just awesome. Really was one of the best weekends of my life for sure.
You were a high school athlete. You did a lot of things. You were active in it. You were successful in it. How important are these memories at the high school level, and how often do they still resonate with you today?
Can't beat it. Even just looking out here, you see the student sections. You see the players warming up, getting ready for the second half. Man, it brings back so many memories, and honestly, Chad, it's stuff that you'll take the rest of your life. It is. There's certain memories that you have playing high school sports that just resonate with you, and even just being here right now, it just throws you back right away.
If folks want to get involved, they want to get involved and learn a bit more about your services and get connected, how can they do so?
Yeah, absolutely. So I would just encourage everyone, just go to maketheturn.com. You can see a lot of testimonials, a lot of case studies, a lot of examples, and of course, be able to contact us directly. So I would just say, if you're someone or a company just considering getting an extra hand in marketing, just check out maketheturn.com and see if we can potentially schedule a call and help.
Awesome, brother. Thanks so much. We appreciate the partnership very much.
Likewise.
Thanks for stopping by, and I know we'll see you throughout the season. There he is, Mike Sully-Sullivan of Make the Turn here on Gridiron Game Day at halftime. Mike, we'll catch up soon.
Thanks, Chad. Appreciate you.
All right, at halftime, it's Adams 22, it's St. Mary's 8. We're back in a moment with the start of the second half from Molesky Field right after this.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 300,000 participants here in Michigan who take part in high school sports.
Every high school sporting event in the state of Michigan has one thing in common: officials. Every game, every meet, every match. Without officials, there'd be no touchdowns, no three-pointers, no face-offs. Without officials, there'd be no games. Officiating is a great way to give back to your community and stay involved with the sports you love. And officials are needed now more than ever, because without officials, it's just practice.
Lowering the shoulder.
Swing and a miss. McGinley scores!
And it's going to be a challenge for us. I mean, they're a really talented football team. I think everybody knows that.
Four wide receivers. Pressure. Steps up. Marshall wants to run again. Cuts down the middle of the field. All alone. Touchdown! Warriors! What a cut.
Welcome back to Orchard Lake, 22-8. The Eaglets on top of, Adams on top of St. Mary's. Ben Holden has the thoughts of the head coach for Adams, Tony Petrito. Ben, take it away.
Yeah, thanks, Chad. I had a chance to catch up with him as he was coming out before the start of this third quarter, and I said, what'd you like from your team first and foremost? He talked about those plays on defense, said they were big. We know how they transition those into points, certainly a big thing. I asked him about his quarterback, Rhino Waters. He said, I like how he's playing hard, he's playing tough. Remember, you guys have talked about it all night. It's his first start. He's just a sophomore, and watching him down here at field level, this kid's going to be something special for their program. And lastly, I said, what do you want to see adjustment-wise out of your team in the third quarter and in the second half? He said, no more mistakes, no more penalties. He's a coach that's clearly got his team ready to play. We'll see how it unfolds here in the second half, guys.
All right, thank you so much, Ben. We appreciate it. Adams will receive the second half. Right side turning up and turning the corner. That's Drew Hepner is forced out of bounds. Look, Stick, Adams has the football. St. Mary's has been solid on defense tonight. You look at the total yards, St. Mary's has outgained Adams 115-61. The defense should be feeling nice and comfortable for St. Mary's.
Yeah, and I think that's probably the message Jermaine Gonzalez was sending at halftime. Like, listen, guys, if this was just what our defense have given up, we're winning this ball game right now. We got to control the turnovers. Obviously, 4.5 is way too many, and we'd be right in this. That second quarter, I thought both teams kind of settled down, and we're going to see what they're really made of here in the second half.
We shall indeed. It's the sophomore quarterback under center, Waters. Play action. Looking deep down the middle of the field, and he overshot the intended target. He was looking for Tommy Offer. Check it, Lachlan Tillotson. And it was well defended by the Eaglets back end.
Yeah, but I love that call coming out of halftime. That's going for it. Like you're trying to put St. Mary's to bed early with that call, and that's what you love about it.
Aggressive play call.
Oh, they connect on that quick score coming out of the half. You have sucked all the energy out of this ball game.
Go for the kill shot. Handoff to the slot right side. Couple of yards off a right tackle. Trying to attack right off that right tackle, Rowan Kawa. And the ball carrier, once again, is Tillotson. He's got a lot of play tonight from that wing spot.
Can we give a shout out to Mother Nature for giving us this beautiful night for the first Friday of high school football? Sunset behind us.
I tell you, last night was tough. We
sweating.
I mean, everybody knows how bad the weather was and the heat early, and then we had to pack up. Alex Westfall, never seen him move so fast. We got up and out of here before that storm hit. 3rd down and 5, ball in the air. Ball is knocked down, well defended. Back in coverage was Chris C.J. Coates. 4th down punting time for Adams with under a minute gone by in the second half.
Yeah, I thought when you were going to say well defended, you were going to talk about Lachlan on that play.
That too.
Because the offender turned into the defender on that play, making sure that ball did not get intercepted.
Sure did. Did what a receiver's supposed to do, but Coates did his job too. 4th and 5, pre-scoring back and punt formation. He'll stand at his own 18-yard line. And that is a duffed kick. And that is going to roll and stay in Adams' territory at the 44. Eaglets get a break. Can they cash?
If St. Mary's is able to put the ball in the end zone on this possession, we have a brand new ball game, almost like it's 0-0 because of all the momentum that Rochester Adams had early in the game. It's kind of come over to the Orchard Lake St. Mary's side, and all it takes is one big play, and St. Mary's needs to be careful not to turn the ball over.
4 turnovers in the first half, 2 going for defensive touchdowns for Adams. Newell 9 of 18 in this ball game for 81 yards. He gives to Trey Goike, right tackle, right off the hip of Malik Zoeda, and it's a gain of about 4 up near the 40. And we got a player down for the Eaglets. And
Vincent Lazar.
Yeah.
Number 58. Started to get up and walk off the field under his own power and put himself down on the turf.
So the medical staff will take a look. Meanwhile, we want to tell you all about McFarland Electronics. They're your one-stop AV guy for your home and automation needs, whether it's the network, motorized blinds, automated lighting screens, TV frames, ring sonos, Savannah, and much, much more. They're also your outdoor TV and speaker specialist, and you can get in your backyard, get it ready for the big game this fall. You won't be disappointed at all. And as in the football tradition, well, they're the back shoulder fade throw of the AV. Give them the ball. The best speakers on earth, the best systems on earth. Let them bring McFarland Electronics and help you with all your digital needs.
And they put up that monitor TV that you guys have down there underneath the bleachers so people can watch the game. And what a beautiful setup they did for that.
I want to give you an assist on that because you came to me and had the vision of, you know what, we need to get screens. We need to let folks see and hear what's going on around us and the madness around Alex Westfall and his production crew.
Yeah, and you see a lineup around that TV right now. You can look over the edge, and there's at least 10, 15 people listening to the broadcast, watching it.
Love it.
It's a cool thing that the prep does here at every high school football game that they go to.
Glad to be here at beautiful Orchard Lake St. Mary's. Axel Newell at quarterback, 2nd and 7 from the right hash. Looking right side, over, too tall, looking for Duke Coates. And that'll bring up the ever-important 3rd and 7 with 10:18 to go in the third quarter.
Yeah, Aiden Donovan, if he was checking down to Aiden Donovan on that and saw him coming across the middle, that may have been the guy you want to throw to. Number 7 was on a post route, and he was wide open. And there's that sidearm delivery. I mean, he's got a good arm. There is a tight spiral. The ball moves with some velocity. It's just a very awkward delivery.
2 wide receivers to the right. Wilson left side, and that is a bit of a miscommunication. It'll bring up a 4th and 7, and Jermaine Gonzalez says, let's punt it away.
And I've been waiting for that all night. You know, they've had Bryson Williams up there by himself, and that was just a miscommunication. Like you said, Bryson Williams was expected to come back by the quarterback. He threw it to his back shoulder. He was on a fly route, so that ball just fell well behind him.
Jermaine Gonzalez raving about Bryson Williams and his abilities. Jack Bartis to stand at his own 45 and a 4th and 7. Fake it here, man? Possibly. They won't. It'll be an end over end. It'll be angled to the right sideline, and it's going to trickle inside the 5 down to the goal line. Oh, what a dandy from Bartis. Like a pitching wedge from Sullivan from 121. It checks up at the goal line, and it's touched by C.J. Coates for a wonderful punt of 43 yards.
Yeah, that's exactly how you draw it up. You saw he kind of kicked that little side English on it to get the spin, and Coates, I thought, was playing with a little bit of fire there. Got his heel very close to that line, but incredible job. Great coaching on the special teams.
Coach Mick, the new special teams coordinator. And that'll set up Adams in their own end zone. And look, St. Mary's has smelled blood. I mean, there's a chance now
and I think
that D-line to gear up.
I think they were generous with that spot. That ball should be on the inch line.
Yeah. So the rookie under center. And he's in trouble in the backfield, spins out of it. And the sophomore quarterback, Rhino Waters, birth name Ryland, escapes the black end zone.
I mean, even that couple yards is a big play right there. Just to get out from, you can run a pass play now. You have a couple more yards of just space to work with, because when you're on that goal line, it's scary.
There was pressure in that end zone. He had to spin out of it. There's already been a safety tonight by the Eaglet special teams. There's a handoff right side and a stuff job at the goal line. Eaglets calling for a safety. Officials say no. They'll mark him at the 1. It'll be a loss of 1 on the play. And it'll force now a 3rd down for the Highlanders.
Yeah, forward momentum. He came out of the end zone before they started to push him back in, but you feel good when you're the defense. See, he was out right there. I mean,
yep.
You can't call that a safety, even though they tackled him. Jack Jonda, we highlighted him early in the game, and he's had a big game.
So, big 3rd down and 10 for the Highlanders. 8:49 and counting. Handoff right side in the end zone, and another Houdini job to get out. Janda again.
That is a risky call in your own end zone. You want to just go straight forward there and eliminate the chance for a safety, but look, he's running 30 yards in the end zone, giving plenty of chance. Great job by number 14 for Orchard Lake St. Mary's by letting go of that horse collar tackle, because they had it earlier in the game where they had him pinned and a horse collar helped him out. You saw it. He grabbed it, let it go. Smart player.
Kamari Patterson, who also forced that edge. So it'll be Brady Prescorn, the Michigan commit, from his own end zone. And he gets it away end over end on the sidelines, and that is going to be another short one. And the Eaglets are going to get fabulous field position inside the 30 to the 28-yard line.
Well, St. Mary's has had nice field position to start out this second half. They were not able to cash in on the first possession. We'll see if they can do it here. Update from Carolina right now, too, with the Lions preseason game. Carolina 3, Lions 0. 8 minutes left to play in the first. Lions with the ball.
Did you really update us on a Lions preseason game?
Yeah.
Have they played any starters this year in
no.
the preseason?
And did you see Mike Tomlin's quote on that about why he does play starters?
I did not, but I want to hear it.
All-time quote. You'd never go into a boxing match without sparring first. And I think that's very smart.
Yeah, no, I understand it. And, hey, look, I understand your interest.
Oh, yeah. I think all of Metro Detroit.
I'm sure they're waiting with bated breath. It is scoreless, you mentioned?
No, it's 3-0.
Oh, 3-0.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
2nd and 10. Eaglets on the Highlanders 28. Trying to dip into this 14-point lead. Handoff Goike left side. On his feet. Broke a tackle before he's finally spilled at about the 23-yard line. Goike on the carry again.
Yeah, almost like a little draw play there. You saw the defensive ends for Rochester Adams kind of push too far up the field, and they were able to beat him with an underneath handoff.
12 rushes for 43 yards. Inside give and 1st down and more. On 3rd and 4, it's Goike exploiting.
I thought for a minute he wasn't down. I thought they were going to call that a touchdown. It looked like he fell on the body of the Rochester Adams player and was able to stay above, but they're calling him down about the 8-yard line. Back-to-back middle handoffs for Goike, and it's working for Orchard Lake St. Mary's right now. What did Jermaine Gonzalez say going into halftime? When our run games work, we work.
15-yard gain for Goike, who was finally spilled by the Highlanders secondary, and Gavin Ferris. And we've got a timeout on the field for the moment. There was an eaglet who was in the end zone, and that's Goike. What was he doing down there?
Seeing what it's like.
Talking to our cameraman.
Yep, checking it out.
Lost his mouthpiece, according to Alex Westfall. Thank you, sir. Handoff up the middle, and that's going nowhere in a hurry. That was spelled quickly by the Adams top defender and tackler tonight, Mateo Humbert.
You know what my dad used to say about football? Run a play until they can stop it. And that's exactly what Orchard Lake St. Mary's did. They ran 2 handoffs up the middle. 3rd one got stopped. Now you try something else.
That's right. We have not seen Armand Rollins in this game. The Eaglets will check into the lineup. Leo Wilson, the 5'3", 152-pound senior tailback. Play action. Pass tipped again. And boy, oh boy, there's been a lot of tip passes tonight. Newell is 6'4".
It's that release, though. It doesn't matter if you're 6'4" if you're releasing it below your shoulders. Now you're taking it down to a 5'8" quarterback. That's the problem. They got to work with him on having an over-the-top release.
Williams slot right. Michigan State commit Aiden Donovan far right. Looking over the middle, got a man incomplete. Was looking for Jaden Savory, who's been quiet since early in the first quarter. And that one sailed through his hand. We'll have to get another look at that one. That was a fastball.
It was a fastball. Once again, just holding down that pass button. And it looked like it got tipped again. You could see the trajectory change at the sideline. Now, if you're St. Mary's, you missed your extra point kick, so you got to go for it on 4th down here, right?
You could.
I would be for kicking the extra point to get it down to 11, and now you're still a 2-score game with only needing what you have on the board.
Newell from the left hash on a 4th down and 8 over the middle, incomplete. In all kinds of traffic, he was looking for the big tight end, and it's a turnover on downs for St. Mary's. Adams holds them at the 8-yard line.
Yeah, credit to Rochester Adams on that play. Everybody was covered. There was nobody open. You try to fit it into a tight space because if you throw the interception there, not a big deal, right? You're turning the ball over anyways. But Jaden Savory, you got to try to feed him, but that ball's got to be high to Jaden Savory. Let him use that 6-foot frame. Let him jump over.
Look at that crowd tonight. That's the visiting sideline.
Travel well.
Adams does travel well. The home crowd and home side packed as well. Great atmosphere inside here for Gridiron Game Day. Our second this week. We did Seaholm last night, hosting Bloomfield Hills. There's a throw up left side, one-on-one coverage, and that ball is intercepted and then dropped. Couldn't hold on. High Point. CJ Coates was in a wrestling match with number 6, Lachlan Tillotson, and nobody won there. Great coverage, though.
He did not complete the progress. Is that what they called Calvin Johnson for, not completing it? But there you see a wobbly pass. He's able to get underneath it. He has possession, but right there at the last minute, it comes out. He's had some great plays. I think about 3 interceptions he's missed on tonight.
Sure has. 2nd down and 10. Waters will keep it, has some room up the middle, and gets about 5 or 4. We're under 6 minutes, 3rd quarter. This is where we were at halftime. It's been 2 touchdowns defensively for Adams. 50-yard fumble return for a touchdown, a 42-yard interception for a touchdown, and it's been 4 turnovers for St. Mary's, 3 for Adams in this game.
And you can kind of feel it right now. Something big is about to happen. It's either, obviously, it's either going to be for Adams or St. Mary's, but you're feeling some tension.
3rd and 6, Waters fighting forward, and he is close to a 1st down, and he has it at the 20-yard line. Fought forward for an extra couple. This is a tough hombre, just a sophomore.
Not only tough, but smart. You know, he's been making the right reads when he has to hand the ball off or when he has to keep it. He hasn't turned the ball over after that first quarter. He's just been a really good, solid quarterback in his first start.
Well, he has. Give left side. And this is the guy that we've called a lot on the defensive side, Mateo Humbert with a gallop. It's good for about 8 yards. And it'll set up a second and short.
I am president of the Mateo Humbert fan club. I think he is a heck of a player. What he's put on display in this first game has been nothing short of phenomenal.
Both sides quite balanced. Waters looking deep, and that is incomplete. Had a couple wide receivers, threw it down the middle, and now a late flag. And it's going to be a pass interference call that's going to go against who?
Looks like Orchard Lake St. Mary's.
It is indeed. The ball was thrown in no man's land, but there may have been a reason for that. The officials seem to think so.
There was a little contact. I didn't think it was enough to change the play. You'll see it right there. Looking at number 5, Bryson Williams. That's a tough call.
You're not kidding. That's going to move the ball up to the 40-yard line.
Looks to be a pass interference call against the Eaglets.
PA announcer's got it.
The Eaglets PA announcer stated it as a question.
Yeah.
He didn't say it.
I like that angle.
Maybe a pass interference call.
Handoff left side. It's Humbert, and that's strung out well by the defensive line for the Eaglets. That's DJ White, the outside backer with a tackle, one of the top athletes in the school, all-state wrestler, all-state track. And you can see that speed and a little strength there, Stick.
Yeah, he's been jawing a little bit too with Brady Prescorn in this game, and I wasn't aware that he was an all-state wrestler, and now I can understand why he'd be standing up against the big 6'6" tight end for Rochester Adams.
That big tight end is tight right. Handoff up the middle, and that is going to be a fight for just a yard. They're going back to Humbert.
Yeah, great play by Jack Bardis there, just stuffing on the defensive end. And you can see at the end of the play, if we have the replay, if not, don't worry about it. But he's ripping at that ball while he's tackling. And that's kind of the evolution of a defensive player. 1, making the tackle. 2, while you're making the tackle, try to strip that ball.
That's right. Appreciate our replay coordinator tonight.
Yeah, that's a tough job. I tried it once.
Evan
Not
Westfall.
easy.
Yes,
Not
you
easy.
did. You did. That's all right. You'll get another crack at it. Multi-talented. There's a keeper by the quarterback on a 3rd and 5, and that was just a gallop up the Red Sea for 6 yards and a first down for Adams, who looks to have a little confidence, especially on 3rd down. They've cashed twice now.
A little bit of discipline issues right there for St. Mary's. 2 players go with the running back. You can see it right there. And then making it easy for Bardis to just get pushed out of the way. And Waters just sees that huge opening up the middle and rushes for 7 yards and a first down.
18 rushes for 70 yards tonight for the sophomore in his first start. Ryland Rhino Waters.
He brings the blitz.
In trouble here. Down he goes at the 45. A gang of black jerseys led by DJ White dancing his way back to that huddle.
And that's a field call by the defensive coordinator for Orchard Lake St. Mary's. You know when they're going to be dropping back to pass. They knew that was going to be a pass, and they sent the house. More people than Rochester Adams could block. You got to have a check down ready to go on that play, and if you don't, that's kind of the result. Now 2nd and 20.
The Eaglets have outgained Adams in this contest, 138-86. But Adams is up by 2 scores with $1:40 to go. In the 3rd, we'll step aside for a moment. We're coming back to Molesky Field in beautiful Orchard Lake on this Friday night. Thanks for watching on Gridiron Game Day.
Lowering the shoulder.
Swing and a miss. McKinley scores!
My dad and my grandfather are officials. I've grown up around officials and seeing how much they enjoy being part of the games. As a student athlete, I've always appreciated the people out there who are willing to give back to the kids. The Legacy program lets me officiate while I'm still in high school, working younger kids' games. Officiating gives me a better understanding of the game. I get to make some pretty good money for a high school kid, and I even get to spend some quality time with my dad. There's help wanted. Just whistle.
In today's ever-changing real estate and mortgage lending world, the importance of a true professional has never been higher. At Success Mortgage Partners, our mission is for every borrower to receive Level 10 service, and our goal is to get you the lowest rate possible. We want you to have an experience of a lifetime. Navigating a turbulent market like this needs to be handled by a real professional. Call Todd Barr today, 734-674-6154, and put 20 years of local knowledge to use for you and your family. Success Mortgage Partners Incorporated supports equal housing opportunity. We've got a false start call. It's going to back the Highlanders up even further, and it'll turn it into a 2nd and 24 from their own 39 stick with $1:40 left. If you're the defensive coordinators, Jeff Phillips and Greg Dixon, what are you doing here? You turning up the pressure, or you backing off?
I'm turning it up, right? Just make them make a play. If someone beats me by making a play, I'm okay with that. If you beat me because I'm sitting back hoping you don't, I can't live with myself.
Very fair. Motion right to left. Rhino in the gun, going to keep it himself. Trying the left sideline. He has the 45. He needed to get to the other 42. It'll be punting time for the Highlanders with 90 seconds left until the end of the third. Now Brady Prescorn is the punter. Oh, excuse me, it is third down. My bad. So it is.
But I like what St. Mary's did there. They did bring up more pressure, and even if it's going to be a run, the only thing you hope for is that you don't miss one of those reads and go after the wrong guy.
Prescorn near side. Miscommunication on the give to Humbert, gain of 2, 4th down and 15 coming up from their own 48-yard line. The Highlanders up by 2 scores.
I'm curious about that call. You know, on 3rd down, obviously you have some distance to go, but why not throw up a jump ball to Prescorn? I mean, the worst that can happen, it gets intercepted way down the field. If you get a pass interference call, you get your 1st down. You got to use that side advantage.
I'm with you. You're playing with some house money.
Yeah.
Maybe too much appreciation from Petrito in respect. Prescorn catching pressure, bangs it high and deep. What does this guy not do? And it's a Bryson Williams fair catch at the 18. That's where St. Mary's will take over with 16 ticks left in the third quarter.
22.
Lowering the shoulder. Swing and a miss. McKinley scores!
.90 now, pass right side. Going to get across the 25 to the 27. Gain of 8 yards on the final play of the third quarter.
The old 90 now call. I like that. Throwing it back to George Porritt.
A tribute to George Porritt.
And Maurice Seawright.
That's right. That's right. And Jermaine Gonzalez was throwing that rock in that era.
What do you have? 28 touchdowns his senior year and 0 interceptions.
He did. State title in football and basketball for Jermaine. So they will stop the clock with 7 seconds left. First down for the Eaglets. Newell, same play. This time to Jadzik. Has some room. Right side. Popped out of bounds at the 37. But it's a solid game, and that will end the third quarter. We'll take a quick timeout. Ben Holden when we come back to Orchard Lake. Eaglets on the move. Down by 2 scores.
Lowering the shoulder. Swing and a miss. McKinley scores!
Just about set to begin the fourth quarter here on the prep, and We talked about it a couple hours ago at kickoff. Really, the mantra that Orchard Lake St. Mary's decided to go with this year, that R4W, ready for war, it stemmed a lot from what happened last year when these two teams met. It was a tight game at halftime. In the end, Rochester Adams went on to win 42-14. This game, guys, as we know, is still very manageable. Orchard Lake St. Mary's, Jermaine Gonzalez told me at halftime, he said, look, when we run the ball, we have success. We need to be physical. I think you need to see a little bit more of that. We'll see what they do. But as you saw in that end of that third quarter, a lengthy drive there by Rochester Adams. They're content just chewing some time and keeping moving the ball. They're on defense now. But a big fourth quarter, I think, moving forward, kind of a tone setter for these two programs as they move in to the high school football season here in 2023.
Yeah, good point, Ben Holden. Thank you for that. Ben Holden, our sideline analyst, Sam Sick Day, alongside Chad Bush. Yeah, this is telling time, and this is the turning point perhaps of this game. This game means a lot to the Eaglets, who got whacked up in Rochester last year. And they've had to come back from a 22-0 deficit in this game, turning it over 4 times. This is a big drive for them. I was just going to say that. This is probably the most important possession for them this game. Because if you score here and it's a one-score game, everybody tightens up a little on both sides. No doubt. The give is to Richard Goike III, a guy they call Trey. 5'9", $185, and the junior gives the Eaglets a first down. Yeah, nice little run up the middle. Nice blocking by the big fellas up front for St. Mary's. Trips to the left, passes too tall, tipped, and nearly picked again. Now, we talk about pre-scoring on the offensive side. There you see him as a defensive end, just being too tall to throw over and around, and just that long arm span, able to get a tip on it. That low release, once again. We want to wish Prescorn's father, Jerry Prescorn, who's watching tonight from a hospital, well wishes. Jerry, we love you. We wish you well in your recovery, and know that we're with you and support you. Jerry with his wife, Jill, their son, Caden, a tight end at Ole Miss, former Orchard Lake St. Mary's Eaglet, so it's a bit of a house divided, and we want to wish Jerry all the best in his recovery. Jerry was a whale of a college basketball player. I used to sneak up to OCC and watch him play ball. He was worth the price of admission, and also had an outstanding career at Northwood. A great man and a wonderful athlete as well. It's crazy how those genetics trickle down to all the generations, isn't it? You're not kidding. Outstanding young men that they've raised, Jill and Jerry Prescorn. And a lot of respect, Jerry. Get well, my friend. 11:07 to go in the fourth quarter. St. Mary's up against it, and this will push him back just a little bit, Stick. Yeah, not the way you want on the third down. This is, like I said, this is a very important drive for them to get something going. And there is a huge miscommunication. Fumbled snap, and there's a flag down. It'll be a legal procedure. Yeah. For St. Mary's, you're happy. It's a break. It is a huge break. That's right. Center wasn't really paying attention when the whistle was blown. Quarterback wasn't even looking, and that ball, whew, St. Mary's dodged a bullet. But that's kind of been indicative of what we've seen out of Orchard Lake St. Mary's tonight. Some undisciplined things that aren't very common for this program. Early season jitters, perhaps. Prescorn with pressure. Holding call coming up. Nice pitch and catch at the 48-yard line. Now they're going to wave it off, say it was incomplete. It was a hold anyway. It would have been coming back. It'll be declined. It's punting time for the Eaglets. And a drive that started hot and ended pretty quickly. Yeah, kind of similar to the same drive Rochester Adams had right before this. It's 20 yards to get that first down, and that is tough to do, tough to convert. Prescorn again causing havoc. Fine attempt by Zane Wilson, who has a touchdown tonight. Bardis back to punt for the 4th time tonight. Back deep for Adams. Excuse me, is Lachlan Tillotson. And Bardis bangs another one high end over end. And this will fall out of bounds at the 39-yard line. And that's where the Highlanders will set up shop. If your company wants to make the turn to the next level, make sure you contact Make the Turn, an award-winning digital marketing firm based right here in Metro Detroit, founded by Mike Sullivan and Kyle Bogie in 2019. Of course, we talked to Sully at halftime. They've thrown quickly together a full team of professionals who create custom marketing solutions to help grow your business. Maybe you have a great marketing department, want to get 10% better, or maybe you're a business owner who wants a marketing director without the full-time salary. It's worth visiting MakeTheTurn.com and checking out all the great examples and reviews. They can make and help you with content creation, digital advertising, or even just optimizing your social media and web presence. Visit MakeTheTurn.com to schedule a free consultation and see how they can help your company make the turn to the next level.
DJ White just prevented anybody from making a turn on that one. He absolutely blew up that play. Look at the stick, lock, lift, shoulder right to the stomach. That is textbook. Put it on a tape, send it out to everybody. This is how you tackle.
This is a talented young man, a three-sport star, and just a junior. Said, I put it on 15, 20 pounds in the offseason, and he looks good. This kid can run. 10 minutes left, 2nd and 11. Throw, out route, caught, immediately converged upon and forced out of bounds by C.J. Coates. Catch was made by Tillotson.
And I'm not sure if Rochester Adams, I'm sure their coach just saw the same thing I did. Prescoring at the top of the screen was able to run a hitch, and the safety just ran him completely off. So I guarantee they're going to go back to that at some point. Look out for that.
3rd and 6 for the Highlanders. 9:30 left. They're up by 2 touchdowns in Orchard Lake, trying to sweep the series. They won last year at home, 41-14. Rolling left, got a man, caught, first down, and more. It's Drew Hepner, and he gets it all the way up to the 41-yard line. Move the chains. Highlanders in the left flat with a lot of room on that red turpin.
You know, I don't think we've given Mr. Waters enough credit tonight. Look at this, rolling out to your left, throwing across your body to a wide open wide receiver. Great call by the coaching staff there to put your young quarterback in a good position, comfortable position, and a makeable throw for a sophomore.
4 of 8 tonight for 39 yards and a touchdown.
It just seems like he's had so much more control of the game, though. Doesn't he have like 70-something on the ground, too?
Yeah,
he has been their offense.
Sure has. A lot of poise. There's a ball loose on the deck. St. Mary's has it at the 41. Turnover forced. And the Eaglets get it back. Forcing the 3rd turnover tonight. And how about it? Jack Bardis right in the middle of it all, recovered it on that red carpet.
And if you're Rochester Adams, that is the one thing you could not do. You could not breathe life back into Orchard Lake St. Mary's. I mean, even if you're running the ball the next couple plays, you're running 4 minutes off the clock, making it impossible for St. Mary's to come back. This gives them hope.
Gavin Ferris coughed it up. Jack Bardis jumped on it, and the Eaglets have their 3rd turnover of the night forced. Down 2 scores, though, and up against it. And that is a TFL, and that is a guy we've seen, Uncle Rico.
Uncle Rico. I know we always joke with the production crew about saying heart and soul of the defense, but Mr. Hart has literally been the heart and soul of the defense for Rochester Adams today. Look at him come through, and I mean, that's a huge change of possession and a huge change of momentum. He comes in and shuts it down.
It's a loss of 4. Newell in the play action. Looks like he wants to run it, pulls it down, and now he's in trouble at the 38-yard line. It'll be a gain of about 2, but it's going to set up a 3rd and long stick, and not the position that Jermaine wanted to put his signal caller in.
Yeah, I don't know if that was a designed quarterback run or it was just kind of a funky play, and it was a rollout. But I think when he saw the DB fall down, he thought about just tucking and running it, but the DB, to his credit, number 15, was able to get up and get that tackle in a hurry.
Newell, a fine athlete, can run a little bit, but definitely a pocket-type passer. He's in the pocket here. He's throwing right side, and it's well overshot his intended target, Zane Wilson. 4th down and punting time again for the Eaglets with 7:28 left in this ballgame.
We talked a little bit at halftime about St. Mary's maybe trying another quarterback or something like that, throwing somebody into the mix. They have a couple guys that are up and coming, definitely younger, freshmen perhaps. I believe Gonzalez is the last name. And I thought he had some plays drawn up for him. I thought we were going to see him this game. Haven't seen him yet. You wonder if that's going to happen coming up later on this quarter or if they're going to just ride it out with Axel.
Yeah. Jabin Gonzalez is the backup quarterback, the freshman son of Jermaine Gonzalez. Highly touted. We did expect to see him. We have not seen him yet. Bardis handles the low snap, and it's corralled by the Eaglets at about the 43-yard line. Jermaine Gonzalez, in his second year, had an illustrious career at Orchard Lake St. Mary's. Coached the JV from 07 to 19, waited his time behind George Porritt. 2000 grad, won a state title in both football and basketball his senior year in 99 and in 2000. Went to Michigan, multi-sport athlete, played football and basketball for the Wolverines. He's an entrepreneur and a guy that can really knock the lights out in Monopoly, and says he allegedly dominates. We trust him on that. And he's pretty good with a grill. In fact, he said the best ribs in northern Oakland County.
Challenge accepted, Jermaine. Challenge accepted.
And he's a treat to talk to and work with. There's a loose ball in the backfield again. Bardis forced the fumble, and jumping on that football is Gavin Ferris. But boy, ball's been on the deck a lot tonight. Both ways.
Yeah, we started the game like that, and it feels like we're ending the game like that. Unfortunately for Rochester Adams, it's breathing life into Orchard Lake St. Mary's. You're giving them hope when really all you need to do is run this clock out.
Yeah, that was Skylar Bonner that forced.
Well, it's tough when you get hit by Bonner.
Yeah, he's a beast.
He is.
Division I prospect as well. Running right and running not far for just a yard. And what looks like a ball control series for Adams. And you can't blame Tony Petrito. He's just going to bury his sophomore into the line, and Rhino Waters will get about a yard and set up 3rd and long.
And maybe that's why we are seeing some more fumbles right now, because St. Mary's knows they're keeping the ball on the ground. They got to punch it out. But, yeah, Rochester Adams, I think they're doing the right thing right now. And we talked about it earlier in the game, that tough decision before half. This is a little bit easier decision. You're up 2 scores, 6 minutes to go. Just keep pounding that ball.
Yes, sir. In trouble in the backfield, the Eaglets again swarm the sophomore quarterback Waters. Janda in there, Bonner in there. The other Janda in there. It's a D-line sack party in the backfield with 5:43 left.
I mean, with that negative play, St. Mary's has to be holding Rochester Adams to 150 yards or less on this entire game. Their defense has played incredible football. And like I said earlier, if we were just counting offensive scores, St. Mary's would be winning right now, but that's not how football works. Defense was able to put up 15 points.
Yeah, just 110 yards of total offense. Both teams right around that 50-play mark. Eaglets outgaining Adams 161 to 110 in total yardage. But it's been the turnovers.
Yeah.
And the difference in this game, the 2 defensive touchdowns by Adams, and the fumble return for a touchdown, and the interception return for a touchdown, both in the first quarter. The Eaglets trailed in this game 22-0 before you could blink, with 7 minutes to go in the first.
Yeah, and I don't know if Rochester Adams kind of have pulled off since that 22, but they really haven't done much offensively. But that's enough to win.
Prescorn back to punt it. Floats it to the right side. It's going to hit at the 28 and out of bounds. And Bryson Williams won't have a chance to return this thing. So here come the Eaglets. With all their timeouts, 4:52 left in this ball game, in a series that they're expected to do something here in the form of a touchdown if they want to make an official statement that they're back in this ball game.
Yeah, and that's tough for Orchard Lake St. Mary's right now, because Rochester Adams now knows that you're going to pass, right? And that's been the Achilles heel for St. Mary's all game long, and kind of a weak spot for them. So maybe you look for some screen passes, maybe some check downs, just something to get the offense going.
Inside handoff, Goike, and that's going nowhere. And St. Mary's has to be in hurry-up mode here, and they are. 4 wide receivers, and Goike to the left of junior quarterback Axel Newell, making his Eaglet debut tonight as a signal caller. Back to pass, looking deep, nobody home, incomplete. Pressure coming from Prescorn, who helps up Newell. And good news there is the clock stops.
That is the good news. The bad news is, once again, a huge miscommunication between a wide receiver and a quarterback. That ball was pretty much thrown to nobody because the wide receiver on the outside stopped and the quarterback thought he was going to keep going. You look at it here, he thinks it's going to be a bomb down the field and nothing. Yeah, the wide receiver doesn't even make the screen.
3rd and 9, curl route, incomplete. And it's 4th and 9 as Williams and Newell not on the same page there.
You can just tell Newell is rushing. He had time there, but he was throwing off his back foot, falling away. You're never going to get good power doing that.
So this could be the ball game with 4:20 left. The Eaglets going for it from their own 28-yard line. Newell in the shotgun. Back to pass, looking deep, got a man caught. It's Coach at the 40, to the 30, 10, 5, touchdown. However, there is a flag down in the backfield. It is holding, and it is coming back.
It looks to be coming back.
And it is. Man.
And you see the St. Mary's players throw their hands up in disgust. Their best play of the game. But maybe the reason it was the best play of the game is because they were able to hold and get some extra time for their quarterback.
Would have been a 72-yard touchdown pass, and it's wiped out with a hold, and here's how it went down. Well, we'll try to get another look. Duke Coates on the reception. Fine throw by Newell that time. Found that seam, and back we go for the Eaglets.
That's a deep holding call, too. I mean, they lost about 11 yards on that play.
Eaglets are still going for it. It'll be 4th down and 28. And Tony Petrito and Adams wants to talk it over. We'll talk it over with them with 4:07 to go. Big play for the Eaglets coming up on the other side of this timeout.
There's just one place where students are students first, and athletics are played with purpose and perspective. That place is your local high school. High school sports offer more than the joy of competition. Studies show that student athletes are also likely to enjoy greater levels of achievement in other areas of their lives, including academics. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education.
Well, Tony Petrito, the head coach in his 21st year, and coaching for 35 years. He went to Foley High School, class of 82, and was the head coach also for the Ventures from 94 to 02. He's in the MHSA Hall of Fame for coaching, and the 2003 Division II Coach of the Year as they won the state title in his first year ever. Went to Elma College, was a Scot for 4 years in the Gridiron, and he's looking to continue to keep Adams in the upper echelon in Oakland County and in the hunt for a state title. There's Tony Petrito. Tony Anise is his uncle, the head coach at Ferris State and the national champion of Division II a few years ago. And he says his shirt and his tie is a tribute to Joe Paterno. He's a big fan of Penn State and of Joe Paterno and the Nittany Lions and the program of yesteryear. And he's done a great job at Adams, and they've been a perennial contender. In fact, in the state finals as early as 2 years ago against Belleville.
Yeah, every year, you know, when you're playing Rochester Adams, you're going to play a physical football team, you're going to play a disciplined football team, and it's going to be a chore to beat them. He's done a great job with that program.
Sure has. We've got some scores to get to. Northville 14, Clarkston 3. That is in the fourth quarter. Belleville, the aforementioned Tigers, who are number 1 in the state of Michigan and also nationally ranked. They lead 21-6 over River Rouge. That is in the fourth quarter as well. 26-0 UAD over Oak Park. That's at halftime. Rockford 27. Muskegon, the Big Red, nothing. Muskegon will team up with De La Salle on Friday night next weekend on the left coast of Michigan. De La Salle fell today. They lost at Davison in a 2-part game, similar to what we had last year.
Wow.
Catholic Central 28, Dearborn 7. That was from yesterday. Oxford trails Utica Eisenhower 13-0. Traverse City Central 21, Plymouth 7. That's with 6 minutes left in the third. And Forest Park 8, Stevenson 0. So, St. Mary's in a 4th down situation. And it's 4th and 4? Okay.
That doesn't feel right.
St. Mary's, I thought, was in a 4th and 29, and all of a sudden they came out of the timeout with a 25-yard burst.
So call another timeout. I'm with you, Chad. I thought they were going to be back around the 18-yard line.
Well, yeah. Interesting anyhow. We'll try to get to that. Want to thank our sponsor for tonight, Front Page Deli. How good was the Front Page Deli? Want to thank our friend Alan over there for all of the wonderful, delicious delicatessens we got today. What was your favorite?
I'm a sucker for corned beef with a Russian dressing and some coleslaw on an onion roll with some Swiss cheese. I ate about 4 of those things. I feel bad for the rest of the staff that didn't get anything, but got to get here early if you want to eat Front Page Deli, and I'm around.
Hey, I was one of those staff members.
Sorry about
waiting
that.
for my Dinty Moore.
Find
them
cocktail after
on Greenfield Road. Deal. Oak Park, 248-968-5533, celebrating 16 years. Delicious food. We're glad to be partners. There's an interception thrown over the middle on a 4th and 4, picked off. And Adams has forced another turnover, their 7th tonight, and it's by way of Tommy Offer, the safety.
Yeah, I'm going to have to look at that play again. But, I mean, just as a rule of thumb, if you're a quarterback, throwing across your body to the middle of the field usually ends in something bad happening for your team. That was just not great. I thought he had an alley to run it. They only needed 4 yards. So I thought he could have potentially put his shoulder down and tried to get it. But unfortunately for Orchard Lake St. Mary's, it's a pick. Rochester Adams, their defensive backs, I almost called them wide receivers. They've caught so many balls tonight. But they have had sticky fingers all night long.
Sure have. So, Adams will take over. And it'll be Waters in the shotgun. And he's going to carry it himself. He's carried a lot of the load tonight on his own. 23 carries now for 65 yards. And more importantly, he's managed the game well and really has not hurt his team. He did have the one interception in this game, but he's managed it quite well otherwise in just a sophomore.
Yeah, very impressive for a sophomore, what he's able to do to come into an intimidating red field here in Orchard Lake and just kind of put his signature on this game. Tim Tebow-esque, I guess. It's just rough, tough, in your face, and put enough points on the board to win. That's all you got to do.
Ryland to Rhino Waters.
I'm shocked Rochester Adams is just running him on draws up the middle right now, though. That's a good way to get your young, good quarterback at least sore for tomorrow.
Right. Clock winding down under 3 minutes. It'll be a 3rd and 8.
Looks like a timeout on the field.
We have a timeout.
See Jeff Phillips talking to his defense right now, getting them prepared for this big 3rd down. So a lot can happen in 2 minutes and 44 seconds.
No doubt. A lot happens at McFarland Electronics. They're the one-stop AV folks for all your home automation needs. Whether it's your network, motorized blinds, automated lighting screens, frame TVs, rings, Sonos, Savants, and much, much more. They're also your outdoor TV and speaker specialists, and they got your back already. this time in the fall, you won't be disappointed. And as in football tradition, they are the back shoulder throw fade of the AV. Give them the ball. Give them a call. The best speakers on earth, the best system on earth. Let them bring McFarland's Electronics and help you with all your digital needs. Find them at 248-379-4369. Great to see Pat and his crew out today early getting the TV installed. 85-incher.
Huge.
A lot of fans hanging out in front of it, and we'll do a little post-game hangout after with them. Wyland Waters will keep it, find some love on the red turf, and is near a first down up to the 28-yard line. It's close.
Oof.
And it's fourth down and less than a yard, and Tony Petrito, I'm sure, is going for this.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I would, but I can understand going for it. Just put it away. Let your quarterback fall forward. Or you never know, he may have a trick up his sleeve and just want to pile on a little bit here and throw it to the end zone.
Waters over 71 yards in this game. He's taken a lot of negative as well in that tally as we climb under 2 minutes. And Petrito's going to let this thing drain down and take a timeout. We'll take a timeout with him, our final tonight. 2:03 to go. Adams in control, up by 2 scores from beautiful Orchard Lake and the waterfront in gorgeous northern Oakland County. We're the Prep. Gridiron Game Day. Thanks for watching.
Every high school sporting event in the state of Michigan has one thing in common: officials. Every game, every meet, every match. Without officials, there'd be no touchdowns, no three-pointers, no face-offs. Without officials, there'd be no games. Officiating is a great way to give back to your community and stay involved with the sports you love. And officials are needed now more than ever, because without officials, it's just practice.
Flag on the play, false start against Adams.
We got a whistle on the play. Want to thank our friends at Success Mortgage Partners.
False start on Rochester. Adams takes a 4th and 1 to a 4th and 6. Now you may want to think about punting it and burying St. Mary's.
Or try the field goal unit.
From there, you're looking at what? Oof, it's a tough field goal. It's almost a 50-yard field goal.
Well, a lot less pressure when you're up 2 scores with 2:03 to go, but sometimes decisions like this can come back to haunt you if it's not the right decision. Stick around after the ball game. We'll have our G of the game. That pass is incomplete, so it's a turnover on downs. With 2 minutes left, the Eagles will get it back.
That's why that 4th and inches to 4th and 5, 4th and 6 is so huge. You go from your quarterback just pushing through with your linemen to trying to make a play like that. And luckily, that ball was off target, or that was about to be picked.
No doubt. In today's ever-changing real estate and mortgage lending world, the importance of a true professional has never been higher. Success Mortgage Partners, our mission is for every borrower to receive level 10 service, and our goal is to get you the lowest rate possible. There's a run up the middle. That's Trey Goyke. And he's got a healthy gain up to the 45. Gain of 12, $1:52 left.
And if you're wondering why they're running on that play, in high school, first down, clock stops. So it's a great call.
Jabin Gonzalez is in, and he has the football, and he's got his head down, and he's got a first down. We talked about Jabin Gonzalez. He's in there, and he's making waves early with that big-time run. His first carry as a high schooler. First of many for Jabin.
Wearing the infamous number 1.
Just like his daddy. Goyke is stuffed at the line, and that is tough with 95 seconds left. And Gonzalez in a tough spot here.
Yeah, they didn't give St. Mary's a first down, which kind of leads them into an odd predicament right here, and they ran it again. Now the clock's running.
3rd and 1. Gonzalez play action. Going to run outside the pocket, has Prescorn in front of him, and is going nowhere. Prescorn with a sack, with a $110 and rolling. And now it's 4th down and 9 after what we thought was a first down run from Gonzalez. This could be the final play for the Eaglets tonight if they don't cash.
It's interesting that they put Gonzalez in with 2 minutes left. You know, you felt like they probably could have made that exchange a little earlier when they saw the offense was sluggish. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens next week.
Gonzalez in trouble again, and he is going to go down. Tried to spin out of it. Prescorn forced it. He's had a monster of a night.
You give him credit for that sack if I'm keeping score? Back-to-back sacks? You don't have to touch him to be down in high school, and he was the closest player, so back-to-back sacks for Prescorn. But you see with Orchard Lake St. Mary's coming out of this first game, quarterback is going to be something that they're going to have to work on for the remainder of the season.
Sure is. Competition perhaps can be good. Jabin Gonzalez, a freshman that's shown some great things in camp.
And with Axel, you know, like we were talking, there were a couple plays where he was making the right read. He just didn't have the touch that he needed to have on the football.
Yep.
Because he does have a good arm.
We saw the legs in that 9.5-yard scamper. So victory formation for Adams. We have seen no scoring from Adams since the first quarter. They haven't needed it. They've had 1 offensive touchdown tonight from Brady Prescorn. The defense has come up with 2 touchdowns. And look, it was a battle of 2 teams, and one made a lot more mistakes than the other on opening night. Adams comes out of here with a much-deserved win.
Yeah, I mean, they both had their fair share of turnovers, that's for sure. But with Rochester Adams, their skill, turning those turnovers into points.
Your final, Adams 22.
Time is winding down in Orchard Lake. The Eaglets and their opener to Adams have fallen in back-to-back seasons. Different games, but this is one that both teams will learn a lot from, Stick.
Yeah, I think so. You know, it's an opening night. That's what it really felt like. A lot of sloppy football early, and then it got tightened up throughout the game. And Rochester Adams, to their credit, came out ready to play, took that first quarter, took it to Orchard Lake St. Mary's, and they just could never recover after being knocked on their heels.
The game is over. Adams wins it 22-8 over Orchard Lake St. Mary's. We'll be back with our player of the game we call the G of the game. Ben will have him next.
Hi folks, Dr. Joe here again with Michigan Orthopedic Surgeons. Did you know that kids are not little adults when it comes to sports injuries? That's because of something called the growth plate. Growth plates exist all over the human body in our growing athletes. They're actually little cartilage discs that exist at the end of all the long bones. It's simply where a kid grows. The problem is that the growth plate can be the weak link. What might be a sprain, a strain, or a tear in an adult when they hurt themselves can actually be a growth plate fracture in a kid. So it's important, if your kid has hurt themselves and they're not using their arm or they're not able to put weight on a leg, come see one of us, get an x-ray, and make sure it's not a growth plate fracture. For more information, go to miorthosurgeons.com.
Lowering the shoulder. Swing and a miss. McGinley scores!
And it's going to be a challenge for us. I mean, they're a really talented football team. I think everybody knows that.
4 wide receivers. Pressure. Steps up. Marshall wants to run again. Cuts down the middle of the field. All alone. Touchdown! Warriors! What a cut.
All right, this is Adam. Take 2. Mark?
I guess.
I go like this.
The best part about playing football in Texas has to be the reaction from the community.
I want to encourage others to play volleyball or choir because you get to experience new things and do stuff that you've never done before. My reason why is passion.
My reason why is pride.
Every high school sporting event in the state of Michigan has one thing in common: officials. Every game, every meet, every match. Without officials, there'd be no touchdowns, no three-pointers, no face-offs. Without officials, there'd be no games. Officiating is a great way to give back to your community and stay involved with the sports you love. And officials are needed now more than ever, because without officials, it's just practice.
Welcome back. Time now for the segment in the broadcast we call our G of the game, and the G of the game tonight was Brady Prescorn. Brady, congrats on the win. Let's start there for your team. I know you're a team-first young man, and that's what you pride yourself on. How important was this win tonight?
You know, it was a good win. Good to get it started off with a W. It's always good to get it started off with a W. And just got to get better from here on out. Just keep winning. And, yeah, I love my guys. So.
What did this win tell you about this group so far? It's one win, it's one game, it's the first game of the year, but what did it tell you?
That we're really resilient. You know, offense was not doing that. We weren't moving the ball that much. And our defense stuck together, and we were resilient and just stopped them. And we didn't let up none.
Coach told me before the game, he said through all the things that you've gone through as a young student athlete, the Michigan commitment, the recruiting, he said the one thing that's been constant is you've never changed. Where does that come from in your humbleness and your gratitude?
You know, it starts off with my parents. Are the most amazing people ever, and they raised me well. That's all I got to say.
Simply put. Talk about your catch. The guys in the booth, I was watching from that side of the field, the one he threw up. Walk us through that, what you recall from that touchdown you had here tonight, your first of the year.
You know, Rhino, he had put in a great place for me, just for me to jump up and catch it. And that's it. It was a really good ball. I just did my part and was an athlete and went up and got it.
Well, I mean, he carried the ball, I believe, 25 times here tonight. Your thoughts on him? There you go. Get on the hat. There's the G of that game hat. Talk about the way he played tonight. I mean, that was a heck of a performance for a sophomore player.
It was a really good performance for first game as a starting QB at varsity as a sophomore. You know, you only get better from here. So keep practicing and get better. That's all I got to say.
All right, well, we enjoyed watching you and your teammates play tonight. Thanks. Congratulations on being our G of the game here tonight on the prep. Thanks, Brady. All right, we'll see you down the road. Brady Prescorn there. He's our G of the game. Big young man. We'll be headed to play football and go to school at Michigan in another year. But right now, focus, guys. Clearly, this young man, special talent, special young man. You heard him talk about how important it is to have that humble attitude and that humility and that gratitude, and his coach echoed that too. He's a fine player and a fine young man, and fun to watch him here tonight, guys. So that'll wrap it up from down here on the field.
Thanks. Great work, Ben Holden. Congratulations to Brady Prescorn. Great work all night, Ben. Thank you very much. Brady, obviously, you know, going through a lot in his life, and football is not the most prevalent thing, perhaps. It's hard to stay focused. It's hard to, remain on top when you're rated the number 7 tight end in the country. This young man, a lot to be said for what he did tonight and what he's doing now with his life and his career.
Yeah, and sometimes for a lot of these guys, all the outside chaos, the static and all that, the minute you step on the field, it's silence and it all goes away, and that's your sanctuary. And it seems like that's the type of player that he is. And this was a great game for Rochester Adams, especially on the defensive end with 4 picks on the day. Drew Hapner leading it off there, getting a touchdown on the return. Then a big fumble by Orchard Lake St. Mary's, and my man, Mateo, number 39, taking it all the way back for the touchdown. 50 yards. He was also making special team plays all over the field today. And then a 16-yard touchdown pass from Waters to the guy that we were just talking to, Prescorn, up and over. He said he threw it in the perfect spot. Then St. Mary's lone touchdown of the day, Zane Wilson from Axel Newell, a 21-yard over-the-shoulder touchdown. Then there was the bad snap. The right thing for them to do, just kick it out of the end zone, take the 2 points instead of giving up the touchdown. Not an ideal play, but a smart play. And then Orchard Lake St. Mary's. That was a play I wasn't sure if he was down, but here you go. St. Mary's defense was all over Rochester Adams today. Rochester Adams offense only had 1 touchdown, but it was enough to get them the victory today here in Orchard Lake. That was a big conversion late in the game. And as you see, the quarterback just had control of the game. I mean, Rhino Waters as a sophomore, and like Prescorn said, it's only going to get better from here. He had a great feel of the game, and their defense was just all over it. The final interception, nail in the coffin. against Orchard Lake St. Mary's, and there it is, the best play in all of football, victory formation. Give me that kneel down.
That's right, Adams with a 22-0 lead in the first quarter. St. Mary's would come back on a two-score run, but nobody scored in the second half. Eaglets fall to Adams for the second year in a row, 22-8. And offensively, the Eaglets outgained Adams 176-119 in the game stick, but turnovers obviously the tricky spot today. Eaglets with 5 flips, 2 of them returned for touchdowns.
Yeah, Rochester Adams turned the ball over as well. They had 3 fumbles, 2 of them recovered by Orchard Lake St. Mary's, 3 total turnovers for them, 5 for St. Mary's, 8 for the game. Welcome to week 1 of high school football.
How about it? Thanks for watching our second part of this week, our game of the week, Gridiron Game Day. My name's Chad Bush, for my partner, Sam Stick Day, and Ben Holden, and our executive producer, Alex Westfall, all the hard-working production crew members. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you next week from a surprise location. You might be surprised. Stay tuned on Monday for the reveal. My name's Chad Bush. Your final score tonight from Orchard Lake, Rochester Adams 22, Orchard Lake St. Mary's 8. Have a great night, everybody. So long.